Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
We're rolling. Believe you me.
We are here in, sorry, what's the name, Ray? Global Voice Broadcasting Studios in Fancy Pants, LA, Lewis.
I could say, we could just edit it. You could just
well,
start
I don't
over.
Give a fuck. We've started.
I feel bad now because it's his studio and you
yeah, well, I get punched in the head for a living.
All right, you don't fuck it.
I forgot the name of the studio. Global Voice Broadcasting. It's a very nice studio, so thank you to Ray Jimenez.
Yeah.
The Skanks are in town. We've got Mickey Gall. And of
What's up,
course,
baby?
Jason Parillo. What's going on?
Yeah, boys.
So we don't even know what we're talking about, but we were just.
Here's the
gonna
thing:
start with,
when
Lewis.
we do it via Skype, okay, we're very regimented, and that's because it's a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to work to make sure that we are together, and it's a good show. You know, when people make comments about people over Skype not having, you know, a good dynamic.
Okay.
When they say that, I want to prove them wrong. But when we're in person, we don't need to fucking have notes.
No,
we don't
I know
need-
we don't need to have notes, but
We're fine. We're good.
Well, we were just talking a second ago about Joe Rogan, but let's just carry on with that because Joe Rogan, what did he do? He broke Ngannou's
What was it?
record
At the Performance
so
Institute?
Francis Ngannou has the record at the Performance Institute for the most powerful hit. He's kicking
That's a
it.
leg kick?
That's a leg kick. So Rogan's broken the record. So
I guess
what did he
Ngannou,
get?
what was the actual record? What was Ngannou's record? Because Ngannou punched it, and I guess Rogan kicked it. But I guess that's all the difference.
Well, look at the size of your leg compared to the size of your arm.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? The leg's probably about what, 4 or 5 times the size of an arm. I don't
Yeah.
know. What would you say? 3 times? 4 times?
I watched
way bigger, way more powerful.
a sports science years
Hence,
ago.
therefore, a higher.
You trying to use
No
big words
PSI.
because your friend Ray is a UCLA professor.
Hence,
Monosyllabic.
Michael Bisping said he was like, "We're going to use big words today." My friend Ray's here.
I constantly use big words.
I know
I've
you
got
do.
a very, very good vocabulary.
Jesus Christ,
There's a 5-syllable right there.
There we go.
Vocabulary. You know, we ain't messing around.
I watched a sports science years ago where they had Randy Couture ground and pounding a dummy, and they were saying that's like the most force you could possibly use on somebody, because you're using gravity. You're going down, you're crashing on their head, and then their head hits the mat.
Well,
so
that's funny because that's part of the reason that they used to justify MMA in the early days. You know, when they said it was a blood sport and this and that, and the punching on the ground and pound. They used to say, "Oh, well, that's okay because you can't generate the kind of force that you can with a regular shot. Obviously, with a punch, starts at the feet, goes way up your body, the hips."
Yeah, but
down
you
the
also
arm.
can't roll with it when you're on the ground too. Your head's not moving.
Pearl, eat your mic a little bit more, buddy. Lean
Sorry.
in there.
Just pull your seat forward a bit. There we go.
Like a high
Yeah,
chair.
but
There's no rolling with those shots. You know
so
what I
Randy
mean?
Couture, that was the hardest punch, was it?
Yeah, that was
hardest hit.
They were just going with the. I don't remember exactly, but they had that dumb show on. I forget. It might even be like a Spike TV show. It was like sports science. And
Yeah.
they would break down like the different like things. And it was kind of cool, I guess. But they were saying the most force was, I guess, through ground and pound, and I guess it really
Okay.
is.
You know when we said not to really discuss things if we don't give a fuck about it, I gotta say I really don't care for this conversation. I'm already bored.
Yeah,
so
it's
I'm
fine.
assuming the listeners bored. Let's break down ground and pound if you can get more fucking energy into it, or a kick or a punch. It's shit. We'll move on.
I say we start over.
I said yeah, okay. No, we won't.
All right.
Just carry on.
Look, couple things have happened.
All right. Okay.
Number one,
Go ahead.
Mickey Gall, our friend,
Is in studio.
former East Coast fighter, now representing the West Coast, officially out here. I just moved out here, Mickey Gall. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
So what's going on with that, dude? What happened? Why'd you move out here?
Just training, man. It's I think it's a hotbed out here. Like if you take like 500 of the best fighters in the country, 250, I'd say like 300 are right out here. Would you guys agree? In like the SoCal, like
Yeah,
San
no,
Diego,
for sure.
all
I mean,
that?
that's kind of why I'm here as well. You know, I started coming out here in 2008. I think that was the first time doing basic training camps. You know, training with Tito and Rampage and those guys back in the day. You know, and then the more I came out here, I was like, wow, there's so much talent out here. Coaches, the whole lifestyle. you know.
Exactly, and that's our job. Get as good as we can, as fast as we can. So
yeah, no, for sure.
expedite that process.
So where you training at now?
So I'm living in Eagle Rock, and I go into the yard, working with Joe Schilling, doing a lot with him. Like today, right before I came here, we ran like 5 miles and sparred, and he's been helping me out
So
a lot.
a lot of Thai boxing then, yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Is he fighting MMA?
He is. So
Yeah.
so we'll do a session where I'll do jiu-jitsu with him for like an hour, and then he'll give me like a striking lesson for like an hour.
Okay.
So it's good. It's a good exchange.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
we're having fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Come down to Ruka sometime.
Yeah, I will.
See us,
I'll-
let's do
for
some
sure.
training.
Yeah, for sure.
You got a fight
Love to.
coming up?
I don't have anything booked right now.
Right.
But I'm thinking I'm gonna fight International Fight Week. Not sure
Oh,
who
nice,
yet.
nice.
But eyeing that date
yeah.
up. Yeah.
There
You and a lot of people, though, Mickey. I think everyone wants
Everybody
to be on that
wants
card.
all that.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
I think
But
I'm going to
you
fight an
figure-
international fight week.
You figure there's so many, right?
I think I main event it. Fuck it, why not?
I won't get any pay-per-view points,
Pay-per-view
but-
points as well. Thanks, Dana.
Yeah, well,
You
how
figure,
about-
you figure
fucking
three fights in those 3 days. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
Oh,
The
that's
International
right,
Fight
they
Week.
do,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They do three.
Yeah, they'll have a Fox card. They'll have like
Yeah.
an online
Thursday,
card
Friday,
as well.
Saturday. Yeah.
So fuck it, dude. You'll get in there probably. Why is it such a big deal that week? Is it? I mean, is it just kind of like the amount of people, the amount of eyes on it? There's a lot of buzz. Why is it such a big deal to try to get a fight that week?
It's not really. I just kind of like it. I like the timetable. I can acclimate a little out here, you know, and before so I don't just hop right into camp. Like I was mad eager coming off like my last fight, but you know, time like heals. So
Yeah.
then I was able to just chill out, just keep working hard.
That's you had your first loss, which sucked.
Yeah.
You know.
Who was that? Sorry.
We were on the same card.
Of course, I was
MSG.
watching very closely.
Yeah.
No. That's why I didn't know because
Yeah, we both had a tough
GSP.
night. Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck that
Yeah.
guy. Okay, all right. Who'd you fight?
I fought Randy Brown.
Oh, okay. What happened?
Just I lost 2 out of the 3 rounds.
Oh shit! No, that's right. Sorry, no, I do remember
Yeah.
now. Actually, I remember watching in the locker room. That's right.
Warming
yeah.
up like that's not going to be me.
Yeah, yeah. You know the funniest one when I was warming up for Gastelum in China, we were hitting the pads, weren't we, Jay? And I'm hitting the pads, I'm going right hand, left hook. I'm like, this fight ain't going the fucking distance. This fight ain't going the distance. Yeah, it's
You're
not.
right.
It's not getting out of the first round, buddy. At least I was right with that, you know.
You nailed it. I mean, look, it's your first loss.
Yeah.
You know that. How do you handle it, dude? Because everyone handles it differently. I mean, Mike Bisping, when you started in the UFC, you were 10-0.
15-0 is what I got up to at one point. You know, no big deal.
All right, I'm sorry.
Let's have it right though. You know,
Wasn't it 10-0?
I was 10-0 when I joined the UFC.
Oh, all right. So,
Yeah,
so I was completely accurate.
You were
That's
correct.
All right, good. So, all right, you were 10-0 when you joined the UFC. Eventually, you suffer a loss. What was it like? Talk to us about
It
that.
sucked. It was the worst. Like I would have like especially for like the first 2 weeks after, I had Tourette's. Like I would just be like fuck, like 5 times a day. I just feel like just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So it didn't go right. I didn't feel good that day. Well, you know, it wasn't the best me. I think 9 times out of 10 I win that fight. I just, off night.
Well, that's the way it
wasn't
goes sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it's just. I don't know, Jason. How would you say? I mean, just some nights it's hard. You know, I mean, you have a bad day at the office. That's what they say. But
Well, as
I
a
guess-
coach, what do you tell your guy who comes off a first loss? Because you've dealt with that many times.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you give them all the cliche sayings.
no, it is.
This was
though,
God's
yeah.
plan.
Oh, I hate
Blame
it.
God.
Everything happens
I
for a
hate
reason.
it when
Everything
people
happens
say
for a reason,
it was
man.
God's plan. Yeah, it happened for a reason. Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
That's
That
the
reason was he knocked me out.
the reason is you.
I go
not
down.
very-
I go
not
down the
talking about
list, the cliche list. I just okay. Everything happens for a reason.
Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with.
You're gonna come back better.
Yeah, you're gonna come back better, stronger, faster.
Learn from this.
We'll
No,
learn.
no,
You
win,
learn
you
from
learn.
losses.
I love Jason. Yeah, he's reading the fucking notes. What do you do? Get back in the gym. But I mean, here's the thing. You know, for you, it is your first loss. It is a really, really big deal. But for somebody like you as a coach, it's sort of another day at the office, right?
It's
not
part of the roller coaster. It's such an
Yeah.
up and down as a coach because you do feel the effects of the wins and losses of your fighters. And when you're close with your fighter, I mean, you feel them. You know, I mean, you don't feel it obviously physically, but you know, you feel it in your guts and your soul, the whole 9 yards. So you know, when Mike falls short in his fights, I mean, I it's gut wrenching. I'm like our boy Mickey over here. I'll go home and have some Tourette's myself, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at Mike. You know what I mean? Like I'm mad at the situation. I'm mad at maybe could have I done more? Could have I said something? Whatever, you know.
Yeah.
You know, losses are shitty, and as a coach, I really feel every bit of the loss, and I feel the wins as well. You know, that's what keeps you going coaching too, because you know, even as a coach, I mean, I've lost a lot more fights than fighters lost. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you know, because there's so many different fighters. So I've had, you know, you go on losing streaks sometimes, you go on winning streaks, and sometimes you want to be like, fuck, man, I'm over this shit.
Just one question as it pertains to that, because I think it's kind of interesting. What happens when you have two fighters on a card? One wins and then one loses. How awkward is it to you're celebrating, but you're like, dude, but come on, party over here.
I've had that. Yeah, I've had that, and it's like, it is. It's kind of like, you're inviting the loser to the after party. You know, like
to be honest though. Unless you're a pussy, and you're a woman, you got to take it like a man.
Well, it depends.
No, do you know what I mean? Like if I win a fight, I'm celebrating. If I lose, I'm drowning my fucking sorrows.
Yeah,
either way, I'm going to be hungover. I'm going to enjoy myself.
Celebrating.
Listen, I've just done a 2-month training camp. I've exercised a lot of discipline. I've followed a strict diet, and now it's all right. We didn't get the result we want. All right, but let's go out as a team. And, we all did a good job, hopefully. If we all did a good job, let's go and enjoy ourselves. All right, wasn't the result we wanted. Next time, we'll be back. When I fought Rashad Evans, for me, that was a weird one because that was my first loss.
It was a split decision. It was a
split decision. Highly controversial that a lot of people thought I won.
Yeah. Most.
Yeah, most people. No, to be fair, I think his takedown in the third round, he did deserve to win. But anyway, for me, that was when I went down to 185 because he was killing himself in the sauna cutting weight, and I was actually sat drinking 7-Up and eating noodles in a Chinese restaurant. So I kind of highlighted the fact I'm not doing everything I can, I'm not making the sacrifices to be as good as I can be.
And that was the difference, you think?
Well. I was fighting bigger guys. I was too small. I didn't have to cut weight. Everyone else is cutting weight, killing themselves in the sauna, doing whatever they need to do. I'm fucking in a Chinese restaurant.
I mean, look at the size of some of these middleweights. Some of these middleweights are fucking monsters.
Well, this is it. So I cut down to middleweight. And my first fight, second fight, I was fighting Jason Day, I think. And I remember seeing him in the hotel. I was like, holy shit, I thought these middleweights were small.
Right.
I mean, look at Luke Rockhold for crying out loud. But it was weird, because that fight against Rashad as well, I was happy to be there. Do you know what I mean? Because I looked at Rashad, I had a lot of respect for him. He won the Ultimate Fighter. To me, he was like a big star in my head.
And did he win it at heavyweight?
Yeah, he won it at heavyweight.
That's a big deal, dude. He won it at heavyweight. He was fucking just out wrestling all these huge dudes.
Yeah, you know what? That might have been easier though. Heavyweights generally aren't that good. Like even Callum, he wrestles at 195, and next year we're like, Callum, you have to watch your weight because otherwise you're gonna have to go up to 220. And he's like, honestly, Dad, he said, I think it's an easier division. Because the guys aren't as explosive or as fast or whatever.
Athletic,
you know what I mean?
I don't like going around your son because he's a fucking 16-year-old kid who at any point could dump me on my head and make me suck my own dick. It's just an uncomfortable feeling walking through a house with a boy.
If I ever catch Callum forcing someone to suck their own dick, I'm going to have some serious words. Son, I failed as a parent, okay?
You made some
Stop forcing Lewis to suck your dick, okay? And Lewis, what the hell are you doing?
What are you doing?
Get a grip.
Be a man, you're 36
Why
years
are
old.
you sucking my
Get a hold of
son's
yourself.
dick?
He's underage.
My own dick.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, but that's okay then.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
fucking,
son.
No, but it's really, he's a big kid too. You forget because his family's so sweet. It's like the most perfect family in the world. But his son is just nice. He's like, oh, how are you? He has a little bit of an accent, but I just feel his handshake. I'm like, you could destroy me, and it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's a wrestler, and he does jiu-jitsu, and he can strike, and he's a Bisping. So
I was saying, look who's freaking
no offense to the Gomez, man.
The Gomez. My dad was murdered outside of a strip club in 1986. True story. So I don't have that gene.
Where to bring down the vibe, Lewis.
Yeah.
Is that a true story?
Swear to God,
that's a great story.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what's funny?
Let's hear the whole one.
On my other podcast, I tried to contact the guy who murdered him.
Oh, you told me this.
Yeah.
Come on, for
Why he's out of
listening.
prison?
He got out of prison. I had a private investigator hit me up, and because I talked about it a lot on the show, and I didn't harbor any sort of crazy resentment. It wasn't like I was 4, and yes, you do look at it as like, oh my God, your father was taken away from you, but you're so removed from it. I don't really have a memory of my father.
Course.
The emotion kind of wasn't there.
How old were you? 4?
I was 4.
Yeah,
So,
that's tough.
Yeah.
Do you remember your dad?
Like flashes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like him throwing me on the bed.
Being 4.
Him beating up my mom.
Forcing you to suck your own dick. That's a good one. That one always stands out.
But yeah, the guy ended up dying. But I kind of wanted to just interview him and be like, because he was a kid. He was young. He was 16 years old. My dad was 23. They got into a fist fight. And he came back with a knife and stabbed my dad. So look, I'm not justifying, being a kid, but you look at kids do bad things. People are, you're embarrassed. He got beat up in front of his girlfriend. None of these were good people. This is Paterson, New Jersey, in 1986, dog. That's like one of the worst fucking places you could be.
Yeah, right.
It's a really dangerous area. And my dad was outside
Jay,
the
where are
strip
you
club.
from? You're Jersey, right?
New York.
Oh, New York.
Where in New York? are you from?
Upstate New York,
Okay, yeah, up there.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. But
West Canadian.
yeah, that was like it was something that it was just very interesting to me in a weird way. But he died, and that was that. But it wasn't going to be like a fuck you. You killed my dad. It was going to be more like like let's talk. I thought it was going to be an interesting piece.
because I guess I'm assuming maybe there was alcohol involved, and it probably just skyrocketed out.
Probably drugs.
I mean, that
alcohol.
guy that killed your father. He hasn't done it. I mean, of course, he killed your father, so obviously that's something you take personal. But it wasn't a fuck you at the time. He didn't know you. He wasn't trying to offend you.
Didn't know. And to be honest
Shit
with you-
happens in a crazy world, and he lost his temper and stabbed someone. I'm not justifying him stabbing your father. What I'm saying is, fucking hell, me and Jason woke up with lots of regret this morning. Now, I've never woken up and thought, shit, last night was a bit out of hand. Pretty sure I killed a guy. I've never had those, but definitely, there's
But you think about that.
things happen that you don't intend on happening.
in the streets, it can escalate.
That could happen.
That's
though.
what I'm trying to say. Shit can happen. I mean, I've never picked up a knife in my life, and never would I. And you're a piece of shit scumbag if you do that. But those people are out there.
To be honest with you, you guys are probably more dangerous than a 16-year-old kid from Jersey with a knife. Like, if I had to pick one, fight to the death. 16-year-old Puerto Rican kid, skinny kid from Jersey with a knife, a kitchen knife, or Michael Bisping, I'm choosing the kid with the knife. I guarantee every time.
Listen, I hate to bring it up and remind the world, but
What?
I've got a lawsuit going on right now for grabbing a kid by the throat.
shit.
I was supposedly grabbing a kid by the throat. So I don't want to talk about how allegedly.
What you would do to this
I
kid?
didn't actually. I didn't do anything, but the guy's claiming I grabbed him by the throat. I don't want to go, I am more dangerous than a guy from New Jersey with a knife. Okay? That is not going to help my lawsuit out at all.
Any of you guys, Parillo too, you're fucking, you're deadly with your hands. You could take somebody down and choke them out, and then as soon as they're you will literally every single time get your hands around my neck. Every time I fucked around, me and Mickey have fucked around and
If I
grappled.
wanted to choke somebody out unconscious, I'd be very successful.
And then stomp
like
me
that,
to death.
as would Mickey.
and then
Which is
start.
why this kid, whatever. I don't want to talk about.
I think
it.
I'd box someone with a knife, though.
You'd
You know
box
what I mean?
them?
I'd box them, yeah.
I think if someone had a knife, you want to
crack
grapple
with
them for sure.
Maybe
You don't
get
wanna
hand
box
on the
someone, 'cause
knife.
Every time they can stab, they can
Well, this is-
punch,
hold on, let me-
they can go for
let
you.
me clarify something.
This is a 16-year-old untrained
You,
problem.
you do an arm drag, you pull him to the side, you get round him, you grab hold of him,
Yeah,
he
but
can't stab you.
Listen, let me make a point.
When I'm drunk, I can't fight
That's
a
not
lick.
even the conversation. We're all doing the wrong thing.
Hey, I used to do Japanese jiu-jitsu.
I'm kicking in the balls.
I'm a black belt in Japanese jiu-jitsu. Who's got a? Can we fashion a knife? Let me show you how
Oh
to
boy,
disarm
here we go.
someone with a
Yeah,
knife
can you
real
get us
fast.
something that can be a knife, Harrington?
Mike, you don't
And it's
carry
gonna be
a
you.
like a
Harrington's
Yeah.
gonna be the guy that
Oh,
we're
you don't
doing
carry
here.
a knife guy.
He looks like a knife
He looks
guy.
like he should have a
Hold the
knife.
phone like that.
I think we can get a better.
No, I
thing
kick
than
him in the
a knife.
balls. I wouldn't
No,
box. I
Jason,
kick him in
just
the
hold
balls
the
in the
phone.
street, for sure.
Like that. Hold on, he's here.
Let's see.
Don't break your pole.
Well, the first time you failed, and then he stabbed you in your face.
You prank. No, look at the phone. Look at the phone. It's too big. He had an ironclad grasp.
Yeah, sure.
He had his fingers round the edge. That's never going to go. A knife, it's a much different.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Oh, there we go. That's very knife-like.
He broke.
It's a USB stick. It's not heavy. Hold it. Oh, don't be a prick. Hold it. Does that work?
Oh boy.
Hold it. Yeah.
There we go.
Hold it like that.
Oh man.
Oh,
You got it,
see?
all right.
That's how you do it.
Well, here's the thing. That's not even the debate. I'm saying, what would you rather fight?
No, it's Jewel.
Listen, I'm saying, what would you rather fight? A guy with a knife or a guy that's a trained mixed martial artist? And I, as a person who, if I'm choosing one,
Pussy with a knife.
yeah, a dude, just a normal everyday
Yeah,
dude. Here's
just,
the point that I'm making. You're going to get your hands around my neck every time, choke me unconscious, and stomp me to death. If it's a fight to the death, I at least have a chance.
But that's like what you were
with
saying.
That kid.
Was it you saying or was it Jay, Big Jay, the other day? So these days with MMA, there's MMA gyms all over the place.
Oh, yeah, that's my-
You see
yeah.
a guy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hilarious. You say it. It's so funny.
Yeah, well, yeah. The joke is like you can't judge a book by its cover anymore. You literally see a dude and you're like, oh, I'll fucking stomp this guy out. But then next thing you know, you know,
He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a total nerd. He's sucking your own dick. Can we stop saying that? Okay, can we just ban that from the conversation from now on? No more being forced to suck your own dick.
It's your own dick. Have you ever tried? Yeah, you have. That's why he doesn't like it,
dude.
He can't lie. Look, have you ever tried?
Listen.
When you were a kid,
I just said to ban it, and now we're having a full-on discussion about it.
Yes or no? Have you tried to suck your own dick?
You're all the fuck yeah. Everybody's trying to.
Are you serious, Lewis?
Every man is trying.
Serious?
When they're a kid.
No.
Yes, you did.
Never in a million years.
I don't believe you.
Listen.
I know. Michael Bisping's too cool to suck his own dick. Anyway, let's move on.
I'd like to think so. All right. Many describe CBD as being like THC, just without the psychoactive effects. Although this is true, CBD works as an endocannabinoid modulator. This means when a disease starts to take over your body, it will create an imbalance, This means that when a disease starts to take over your body, it will create an imbalance within a body system. The CBD then works to get these systems to balance back to where they should be. Healthy working condition. Research has shown that CBD has helped people who have arthritis, chronic pain, inflammation, Lyme disease, addiction, insomnia, diabetes, high blood pressure, PTSD, and lots and lots and lots of other things. Sounds great.
This is like a huge emerging market. People are loving CBD oils, are loving CBD edibles. Look, my aunt is 80 years old. I'm not giving her weed. I smoke pot, right? But if my aunt is having some sort of pain, she's not wanting to get high. She doesn't do that. So I would give her CBD. I get a lot of anxiety and I get stressed out and I can't smoke weed around my son. So I take CBD when I'm hanging out with him just to calm my anxiety. I know, Mickey, you've talked about it before. You've used CBD oil.
Every time I take it every time after I spar. And I take it a lot regularly for inflammation. And a lot of people like it.
Yeah.
It helps people go to sleep. There's certain kinds that give like good restful night's sleep.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like an all natural pain reliever. It reduces inflammation amongst many other things. They offer a variety of products to make sure you can enjoy the CBD the way that you prefer, and they include capsules, vape juice, gummies, isolate droppers. So go to their website, infinitecbd.com, and pick up whatever CBD product is best for you, and use the promo code BELIEVE for 15% off any purchase. Remember, infinite.com, promo code BELIEVE, 15% off.
All right, let's get back into it. I want to talk to Mickey because, all right, dude, so that loss that happened, it fucking sucks. She got Tourette's. But that is something you really do learn from it, right? You have to.
Yeah,
what do you think that you took from that?
I mean, I don't know. If I won, I don't know that I'm here. I don't know that I'm out in LA. You know, I don't know. I'd probably think
if you would have won, we would have still gotten you on this show, I think.
Yeah, so there you go. Everything happens for a reason.
You know
what was the main thing? If you to look back at that fight and think the main reason why you lost, what could you pinpoint it or boil it down to?
I was like I was like a little sick. Like I think I mistimed my eating, and I spent my whole warm up time like trying to take a shit. Like I didn't really warm up.
No, that's never good.
I was like,
that sounds remarkably like,
and I was like,
Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She's saying similar things like with the diet and stuff like
Ew,
that.
it just feels so much worse with a chick.
Yeah.
She was
No,
having a hard time
Jędrzejczyk,
shitting.
she was talking about how because she lost that night as well, and as did I. It was a great night for all of us.
Everyone.
She's talking about how her nutritionist. She's blaming her nutritionist, so not necessarily the diet, but similar problems.
Yeah.
Who's her guy?
Well, she was
Those
with these
ladies.
perfecting athletes, and they were friends of Audie's, Paradigms, and he put me onto them for a while, and they were sending through all, and I'm sure they're very good at what they do, by the way. I'm not throwing them under a bus, but for me, I'm when you're training for a fight, you can't be going out and buying all these bloody whatever foods that you've never had before,
Yeah.
And the stuff they were sending through, the diet ideas, I mean, I'm sure they're very good and very nutritious and all that type of stuff, very healthy for you. But I just didn't have time to be going out buying all the. It was very, very weird stuff. And then the final straw for me was when they wanted me to send them a picture of my tongue. She said, stick your tongue out and take a picture of it with a cell phone and send it to us. I mean, just by looking at your tongue, we can see what you're deficient in. And I'm thinking,
Sounds like a Me Too
you're out
moment.
of your fucking mind.
Michael
There's no
Bisping's
way. I'm
own
like,
Me
yeah,
Too
I'm
moment.
sorry. I'm sorry. I can't be a part of this anymore.
Yeah.
So we didn't, we didn't really get off the ground.
But I mean, look, how much? Because you hear guys talk about it all the time, like diet.
Stick your tongue out and take a picture. I'm like, go fuck yourself. No.
Stick your tongue out.
The diet. The diet
girl.
is, it's really important. I mean, how much does that? Because I almost feel like the way that I eat when I'm eating
Mickey,
well.
can I
right?
say something honest?
Yeah.
So, no, but so it wasn't your diet. You were on the toilet.
No,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to say, because on
my
the
diet
night,
was great.
Yeah.
I was eating, like I was refueling. Everything was going well, and I think I just ate one time too close. I went to MSG and go warm up.
Yeah.
And I came back and I was like, all right, I'll just put one more, eat one more time. And if I could do it again, I would not have eaten that time. I just had a lump in me. I had a lump in me, and I needed to. It was fucking 8 o'clock. It's time to go.
Yeah.
And it's you got to have it that 15 minutes. If you don't have it, you're not shit that night, and that
What did you have to eat at 8 o'clock or whenever?
No, that's when I fought. I was kicking
8?
off the fought.
Yeah. So when was your last meal?
I can't even really remember. Just a little too close.
Yeah.
Like right before I went over to the
What was
thing.
the food?
I was eating
His own dick. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to make the joke, but he already said he had a lump in him, and I avoided that one.
No, I know.
You know what?
I'll be honest. When he said he had a lump in him, there was definitely some kind of joke there in my mind, and I thought, I'm not going to go there. We've been talking about sucking our own dicks. This has gone downhill fast. I thought I'm gonna rise above it. But Lewis, yeah, I can always trust on you.
I am a
Trust
child.
you.
I am
What's
a
going on
child.
with my speech today?
So that's it.
So yeah,
you go
was
back in
eating my
time, you would
dick
just,
and yeah.
No, but you wouldn't have had that meal, and that's a big part of it.
Yeah. But it's whatever,
What about in the fight? Is there any moments that you kind of go back and go, like,
Yeah,
fuck, I would have done
for
that?
sure. I remember when we for sure. Yeah. I remember when we hit the what?
I was just saying, how quickly did you watch the fight, and then what did you kind of learn from that?
I watched it after, like right after, kind of, and I was kind of disgusted. Like I just know that's not me. I know what I'm capable of. It just wasn't a good showing. But I was like, when we hit the ground, I was like, oh, this dumb motherfucker. I'm gonna get him. I know I'm gonna get him. And I guess I had a little conceit in my jiu-jitsu off my back, and it was tough. He had my head up against the cage, which is a place I wasn't as familiar with, and that really kind of stifled my movement. And
were you on your back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I even felt good there. Like I thought I'll still get him, but just And I think
that's why
a little
I
tunnel vision.
If I'm on my back, I'm shrimping, I'm scooting back towards the fence
to climb and get
the
up.
Fence is your friend. You know what I mean?
To get up.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I wasn't even thinking about getting up.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna catch him here. He's spending too long. I'm gonna catch him with something.
Oh, I see. So you were looking for the submission.
Yeah, I thought. Stupidly, just tunnel vision, like just go. Not thinking, all right, it didn't work twice. Put your feet in the hips, push, get up. If I could do it again 100 times, I would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, everything's 20/20 in hindsight.
Sure,
of course, as you say. Yeah.
Because I talked to you about that after. Hey, you told me. I didn't even ask you. Have you watched either the last losses?
Yeah, I've watched the GSP fight. Funnily enough, after I just got knocked out against Calvin Gastelum. That was the first time I watched it. I went back to my hotel room. I'm just going to double down on this misery right now. I just got knocked out. Now I'm going to watch get choked out.
Why would you do that?
Because I'll tell you why. We all went off to a club afterwards in Shanghai. And everyone's having a great time, you know what I mean? And I'm not having a fucking great time. I'm having the opposite of a great time. I'm having a terrible time. And, there was a couple of other things going on. So I'm like, you know what? Screw this place. I'm going to leave. So I left and I went back to my hotel by myself, left everyone. Didn't announce it. I just snuck out. Do you know what I mean? And Jason, bless him, he heard I'd gone, so he came straight back. And as you came, I was watching it, weren't I?
Yeah, we watched it.
Yeah. I watched it then. I was like, yeah. Well, wasn't that bad. It was landing some good shots there. Building me up more than anything. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's because if I ever bomb doing comedy, I there's no way I can go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Because I tape a lot of my sets, like I can't go back and it irks me to
But
listen.
is that not constructive? You not think that's a good idea? Because sometimes, I don't listen to this podcast back all the time, but now and again I listen to it, and more often than not, it's like, oh wow. That was actually better than what I thought.
100%.
I'm hypercritical. Every time I'm always saying to you, like the other day, we thought it didn't record and I was happy with it.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah.
We'll do it again. It was kind of shitty
and
anyway.
people love the one. Your dad, by the way, your dad's fucking awesome. First of all, Jan Bisping, shout out. I think he walked away with like 50,000 fans that just are. Dude, everybody loved him. He's so real. You could just tell it was no bullshit. That's a great part about it. Like. He's not trying to be in the business. He's literally just having a conversation. Like there's no.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on now and again. Get him to call in and talk.
Love
just whatever fight predictions or whatever, because he has some interesting fight predictions.
He's great.
But anyway,
how often do you bomb, Lewis?
Not that often. I mean, when you do stand up, you're doing jokes. You're kind of working them. So like a true bombing, like once a month, I'll have a nice hot one. You know, I do comedy every night. So
You do every night?
yeah, basically
Yeah, wow.
every night. But yeah, it's an interesting point you make about the podcast.
Yeah, so
because-
that's what I was going to say with the podcast. Generally, I listen to. I mean, I don't listen to it all the time, but if I'm in the car and I'm driving, I was like, oh, let's take a listen. Not because I'm, you know, it seems very arrogant to sit there and listen
No,
to
but you
your
get
own
better.
podcast, but you do listen to it and think, oh, that was good, that was bad. Sometimes when it's bad, generally it hasn't been too bad. There's
Yeah.
a few bits I think, shit, I shouldn't have said that. We definitely shouldn't talk about sucking each other's dicks as much. You know, that's definitely one that I would definitely, you know, maybe pinpoint highlight for next time. But that one episode where I was drinking, that wasn't a good one. I was like, I was dying inside. I was listening to the podcast, and I'd had a few beers. We were doing it at 11 o'clock at night because fucking Lewis had been off to Jamaica. So of course, you know, we all had to pander to his needs. So we'll do it late at night, and I'm in Atlanta. I'm bored out of my mind. I've been very, very sensible for several days. And I got kicked out of a pub and kicked out of a bar.
Very sensible for a few days.
No,
and then he remembers the real story.
No, because I was FaceTiming my dad. I was having I ordered a Caesar salad and a
that's right.
cappuccino.
Yeah.
And I was in a bar, and there's two guys at the end of the bar, and they were gay guys. You know how I know that? Because I was in the gay part of town. So there you go. And then they're chatting away, and they're having a good time, you know, and God bless them, you know, good for them. And they're having a few glasses of wine, whatever, and they're being loud and, you know, whatever, but you're in a bar, good for you. I FaceTime my dad, and I'm chatting away to my dad, and then the lady came over and said, can you hang up that call, please? I said, why? And he said, you FaceTime. And I said, hold on a minute. I said, you guys have been really loud down the other end of the bar. I don't give a damn. Good for you. I said, but he could quite easily be here. I'm just having a virtual conversation. She said, no, you need to hang up that phone. I said, you know what, kiss my ass, and left. So I didn't get kicked out.
Okay.
I left, you know. But yeah, so going back to the podcast, so that was one where I listened to it. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because I did start drinking that day. And then by the end of the podcast, because I had 3 martinis as well before the podcast, and I drank 6 beers whilst we were doing the podcast. At the start of the podcast, I was okay. Towards the end, I was like, ugh. It started off okay, and then I was dying inside.
But you're
I
also
was like, Lewis, fuck, we gotta delete that episode, mate.
Dog,
we gotta delete that episode. Holy shit. I sounded like a moron. I
Well,
sounded
also,
like an absolute
there was also
moron.
a lot of, I gotta also say this, because you were on hotel Wi-Fi and we were doing video, it was like really shitty audio as well. So we ended up, we got rid of that one. That wasn't one of our best, but I'll tell you right now, the reason we did that was because people find the show, they happen upon the show, the first time they listen to it, they click an episode. We want
I
to make
bet you
sure
everyone listening wants to hear that episode now.
well, people have it. They have
Yeah,
their
for
own,
sure.
you know, the ones that downloaded it have
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, good
but
for you to
it's
get
just
on
not
it.
the best. If somebody's happening upon our show and they're, you get it for free, it's not a great advertisement for the show if the
No, it's
audio
not.
sucks and we're not, you know.
Exactly. No, it's terrible. Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, and that's, you know, it's that. But I think that when you look back at these things, whether they're, you know, losses or wins or whatever, like obviously, yeah, every time I listen back to my set, when I used to listen back to my podcast, I used to say the word like a lot as kind of like a filler.
Yeah.
I would say fuck a lot more. I would always like say like fucking, almost like instead of I would say the word fuck.
Yeah, for
and you
sure.
don't even notice it unless you listen back to these things over and over
Well,
and
it's
over
like when
again.
I do UFC Tonight, or I work as an analyst for Fox. That, you know, you watch that back and you do get better. You got to critique yourself, and you know the guys at Fox, actually, I've got to say thanks to them, the producers, because they have coached me on quite a bit over the years. Like for example, when we'd have a guest on UFC Tonight, I was saying sure all the time, sure. And then Michael stopped saying sure. I sound like an idiot. You know what I mean? I was like sure.
Sure.
You know, sure, okay, sure. So what the fuck? Why do I keep saying that? Jesus Christ, you know. So it is very, very beneficial to look back and do that.
When you go back and you start watching tapes on the guy, or you're preparing a guy for his next camp, how much of it is? 'Cause I mean, I guess maybe it would depend on who you're training, but how much are you watching old tapes and kind of putting together like a game plan based on their, you know, what they do and what the next guy? Are you technical like that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. I'm big on film. I mean, I think that's you see the guys' habits. You know what I mean? You see what guys, obviously, you know, if everybody likes to try. It's funny. This MMA. Everybody tries to do so much tricky shit. Everybody try to learn so much bullshit. It makes me fucking sick to my stomach.
Yeah, me too.
You know, it's like you learn how to fight. You learn how to fight. And once you know how to fight, you know, you fight the way you fight. You know what I mean? And I think it as a coach, I try to bring the best of what my fighter does. You know, whatever his strengths are, I try to, you know, get those to the best they can be, and you know, close at whatever holes we can. And then when it comes to the opponent, we just watch his habits. You know, because you're always going to go back to what you do. You know what I mean? And everybody wants to be and not everybody. It's funny because you got a lot of guys that try to get these guys to do all these different bullshit, And it's not even a makeup. You know, you got a heavyweight. You're trying to get him moving around like a lightweight or, you know, whatever. I don't know if I'm making it 100%.
No, yeah, you're right. You're
on this,
absolutely.
but-
You're going to fight the way you fight. At the end of the day, you can try and teach them all these new tricks, but under pressure in a real life situation, if it doesn't work for you, if you're not comfortable with it, you're not going to do that. It's like when I'm doing jiu-jitsu and like, people show. I mean, there's a lot of very fancy technical moves. And I'm like, I will not even attempt that. So I don't even want to learn it. It's not that I'm a closed book. I'm always open to learn new techniques, but if it fits into my style, do you know what I mean? A lot of this flowery leg lock bullshit, I just ain't going to go for it. Because, you know, I don't think it's overly applicable to MMA. And then also because just my body type, certain people can do certain moves. You know, some people are suited to doing certain types of things. I know that type of stuff, the rolling and, you know, these fancy moves. I can't pull them off. Do you know what I mean? I can't do it. So I'm more meat and potatoes. I'm past the guard, you know, go for the classic traditional shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's mind blowing. You see these guys, you know, work on some spinny, tricky, flashy fucking kicks or whatever you want to, and they can't even land a fucking jab in a fight. You know what I mean? Like, you just figure out how to walk up and punch someone in the face before you start doing ballet out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, it's like when Yair Rodriguez fought Bruce Leroy. What's his name? Is that his name? Bruce
Alex Caceres.
Alex Caceres and Yair Rodriguez.
Dictionary, dude.
That wasn't even a Harrington one. That was out of the dome, motherfucker.
That fight, and a lot of people were raving about it. And no disrespect to either of those young guys, you know, they're great fighters in their own right.
Yeah.
But in that fight, it was 5 rounds, and they were just basically pirouetting the whole time, trying to land fancy shit. And there was no fundamentals.
Yeah.
It's like, hold on a minute, that shit ain't working. What's wrong with the jab? Double jab, right hand. Maybe mix in some of that shit here and there to
They were high-fiving a lot during the fight, too, right?
Yeah. High five and then spinning and this and that. And I'm like, dude,
Somebody high-fives
is this
during
a
the fight.
fight? Is this a fight or is it, you know, or are we trying to put on a
people like,
martial arts
good
display?
good sportsmanship. I'm like, I don't like that shit. I don't want to see that.
They're both
honestly, they wanna
they're both
fucking kill
agreeing
each
not
other.
to hurt each other. Is what they're doing.
I mean, I don't mind it. You know, obviously, you know, a great sportsman-like attitude is great, and I like that. But once the fight starts, we're fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As a fan,
I'll maybe touch gloves at the end of the last round.
That's it.
I'll touch gloves at the end of the last round.
That's what you want to see at the fan. You want to see them fucking go to war. You want to see them hate each other. And then right before the last round, they're both bloodied up. They're both sweaty. They walk out and they go, you know what, dude? This is the last round. Boom. And that's like a movie. That's a beautiful
awesome.
moment.
Yeah, but let me tell you
What
this.
fight was that? What fight was it?
Well,
What fight are you talking about?
Let's talk about in general.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing, though. You know, when guys go out, and if you've ever done this, Mickey, I apologise. But if guys go out there the first round, if they go out there and touch gloves in the first round, that means they're shit in the pants. And they're almost saying to the guy, hey, I'm good. I'm cool. You know, hey,
So
we're buddies in here.
You refuse to touch gloves every
You never
time.
touch. You don't
No,
touch.
the first round, go fuck yourself. First round, I ain't touching gloves in the first round, buddy.
I remember Silva tried to hug you. He shoved him at after the round.
When the
too,
refs
yeah.
there, you do it like before the bell.
Oh, yeah, no,
before
for
the
sure.
bell.
But the next
You're
time
talking
we're
about when you
touching-
first come out, not when you're when they say if you want to touch gloves, touch gloves.
in the middle, of course.
Yeah, 'cause don't you remember Rocco?
But when they say you ready,
Why, you don't want to touch gloves? I'm gonna touch you in a minute, motherfucker.
Yeah, he said, no, I tried to touch gloves. He says, no. I said, no touch. He's like, no. I said, I'll touch you in a second, motherfucker. That was great. I love that line.
You have so many lines. Your whole fucking repertoire of highlights of lines are based off of
I love my
Rocco.
lines.
Oh, it's great, dude. He
God,
really
it's
gave you
good.
some fucking good ones. But yeah, so that's it. So you think there's like a mental weakness in somebody coming
I
out in the
think
first
so.
round and going boom?
Not necessarily. But for me, that's how I perceive that a little bit. It's almost like you're saying, listen, I'm cool. We might have talked a bit of shit, but we're in here now. We're doing this for real.
We're sportsmen.
Let's not go crazy, bro.
Yeah.
You know,
we're not. We're
I'm like,
this is a
fuck
sport.
you.
We're gentlemen.
I do it out of habit. Because
you-
every time in the gym,
See,
I
I
come
might
out
be
and I go,
wrong. I might
and
be
then
wrong.
I go,
I'm
yeah,
not
personally,
saying you do
personally.
it like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I perceive it.
Yeah.
And if someone tried doing it to me, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck this guy. Fucking pussy, he's trying to touch gloves. Hey, James,
But that's also a younger-
James, you got this one. He's trying to
Look
touch
over your
gloves.
shoulder and wait.
He's fucking touch
I
gloves.
used to like it when they prayed.
Yeah, he
You're dead, motherfucker.
You're dead, mother.
Going back
that's
to
it.
what you said as well. I mean, you know,
That's great.
the thanking the Jesus part. You know, I'm not big on that one either.
Yeah.
You know, it's like really you lost because of Jesus.
Well-
Or you won because of Jesus. What about when you just got your face smashed in your last fight? Where
Also,
was you
how much
then?
of a
Jesus
fuck
liked the
that?
other guy more.
Yeah,
in
Jesus
that
liked the other
one.
guy more.
And how much
I mean,
of a
Nate
fucking-
Marquardt.
He prayed
Nate
harder than
Marquardt. He's a
Roger.
guy that can kiss my ass because he said years ago I brought the sport into disrepute and this and that, and he wasn't a fan of me. Here's a guy that tests positive multiple times for steroids, and when he loses a fight, well, it wasn't God's plan. Wasn't God's plan. Is it really?
Pierre Parillo in
that
his corner.
narcissistic that you lose a fight and it's God's plan. You know what I mean? Is that how about just saying, you know what? I wasn't good enough on the night. Congrats to my opponent. Better man won on the night. That's what you should say. Fucking talking about God's plan. You know.
Yeah, how much of a
I'm not
narcissist are you that you think God is watching MMA going, you know what?
Listen,
this is what we're doing this week.
Yeah,
You're winning.
Really paying attention
You're winning today.
to this fight on the Fight Pass
There are
prelims.
world wars happening right now.
Not even the main event on pay-per-view. He's at the Fight Pass prelims. He's like, yeah, God's on this one. Don't think so, buddy.
You think God's watching your Bellator fight this weekend? Let's get real.
Exactly. Oh, God, that's funny.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Throwing a little heat at Bellator. Actually, I can't
Nothing
hate
wrong
him.
with Bellator.
No,
I can't hate on Bellator. Rogan made a really good point the other day. He was like, their name just fucking stinks. The name
It
sucks.
does.
Well, of course it does. It doesn't even sound like fighting, does it?
Yeah.
Bellator.
Like, what is it? Am I listening to like a Mexican
Outlet.
chef?
You know, there's a definition. It means something.
It probably
It's like
does.
a
It's like
gladiator,
warrior or gladiator or
something
something.
Yeah, it
like
probably
that.
is in Roman, I don't know, ancient Roman
war?
or something.
Means the war.
Okay.
I
yeah.
like- look, when they
It's fate-
first-
we'll just call it the war then. That'd be better.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
War MMA.
Yeah, but we're trying to step away from that, aren't we? You know, the gratuitous violence. People don't like to say that side of it, do they? Ooh, war MMA. It sounds it's a bit cheesy and tacky. It's like having, a nickname of the psychopath or whatever. It's just too obvious, isn't it? What's your nickname? The Beast.
It's got
Okay, all right, right on. All right,
No
tough guy.
disrespect to Dan the Beast, Severin.
Yeah. Or
He's the
Mark the Beast
original.
Epstein. Or
Yeah, a lot of beasts out there.
He's still fighting.
But there's
Still
a
fighting.
weird thing because when I got into MMA, the perception was it was extremely violent, and they've turned it into sort of a sport. But I think it's important not to forget it is really violent. You say this a lot. where it's like,
so here's the thing. When I signed with the UFC and they were launching, they opened the London office and they were obviously trying to get a foothold on that UK market or the European market. I was constantly on trains down to London to sit down with journalists. I'd fly down to London or get on the train. I'd sit with Marshall Zalesnik, he was the president at the time, and we'd sit there in a nice restaurant with a bunch of journalists, and they'd just come in one after the other. We'd sit down with like 15, 20 journalists throughout a day, and we'd do that about once a month, just trying to get press, trying to get a foothold on the market, as I said. And the whole time, we're shying away from what it really is. Oh, no, we're professional sportsmen. It's martial arts. It's this. We're trying to make it sound not as violent, not as aggressive, because of course it was banned in all the states and they're bringing in regulation. They're trying to get it to be a mainstream sport. So of course in the UK, and I think the US had it as well, goes through that gutter press. You know what I mean? Everyone trying to slander the sport and say, oh, 2 men enter, 1 man leave, all this type of stuff.
Right.
There's no place for this in modern society. So the press in the UK were trying to go from that angle. So it was up to us to try and educate them as to what a beautiful sport it is. Now it is a beautiful sport, and martial arts are great, and it is highly technical and skilled and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, let's not forget this. We're trying to knock each other out. We're trying to inflict as much fucking damage as we can to our opponent, and we can dress it up all we want. But at the end of the day, that's what it is in a nutshell, So it is a beautiful sport, but it is very, very violent.
yeah, and it was a weird thing because I remember there was the first. Whatever the organization was, it was the first like TV deal on MMA that MMA had. It was way before the Ultimate Fighter. It was a couple years before, and it really was just highlights. It was
Spike?
highlights.
Was it Spike?
Nope, it was before Spike.
They don't
Dude.
pay me
It was
any
like
money.
UPN 9. Oh yeah,
Should not have had them on.
yeah.
God, sorry.
That's true. Very smart.
Yeah, goddamn.
It was UPN 9, and Harrington, maybe even look this up. What this was? It was like it was just highlights of fights, and it was like. They'd have like blood splats that went across the screen, and then like I remember the one scene the guy got knocked out, and then they like had like an ambulance thing, like it was a fake ambulance thing. It was like, we're gonna see what happens when we come back. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It was so stupid because they didn't know how to market it. They didn't really know what to make of it. It was just they were like, this is gonna be a big thing.
What was this?
It was on UPN 9 years ago before the Ultimate Fighter.
okay. All
It was
right,
right
okay.
before the Ultimate Fighter because I got into the UFC right as the Ultimate Fighter kind of happened. Right as season 1 happened, it was a coincidence because I was renting from Blockbuster Video at the time. They had all of the Ultimate Knockout and Ultimate Submission DVDs. So we just basically rented every UFC that came out. And even at the time, they were doing a really good job at trying to educate the fans about jiu-jitsu and what it was. Because if you remember, Mark Lehman would do a tutorial on like moves. Like you'd learn how to do a heel hook. I have fucking cauliflower. I swear to God, dude. I have cauliflower here.
Oh, yeah, just
Bad.
prove it to me, Lewis. You're a tough guy.
Look at my fucking cauliflower here.
Oh, I'm impressed.
It's from grappling off those UFC videos with Dave Smith in my living room for 2 years straight. I swear to God, I've never been to a jiu-jitsu gym in my entire life. I have fucking nasty looking cauliflower here.
I wouldn't. Yeah. All right.
All right, we get it. You got professional.
No, I don't. I
MMA
don't want to
fighter
have cauliflower. It is. It's just that it's weird. Like
No, it's
sitting
badass.
there trying to Dude, I got cauliflower. Like you get cool points for that. It's like whatever. So what? No one cares, Lewis.
The point that I'm making,
but you got to make sure that everyone
care,
listening
Lewis.
to this knows you're a fucking badass.
I'm saying I'm not a badass. I was doing it in my underwear with my roommate.
He's got a tiny bit of cauliflower that he's making sure everybody knows.
Why were you in your underwear with your
How did you
roommate?
get the cauliflower again, Lewis?
Flexibility.
How did you get the cauliflower again? I'm doing fucking jiu-jitsu at home.
Yeah, home
Boy.
jiu-jitsu.
In my
with my
That's right,
underwear.
'cause that's total badass.
Go fuck yourself. The point that I'm making was they were doing a really good job at the time at educating people. That was a very big part of it. Back then, like, you would learn, because people had no idea. It would hit the ground and people would boo as soon as people would start doing jiu-jitsu. And it was sort of, it was definitely a different time.
That was my favorite time.
No, for sure. When I started...
Oh, you don't, because you don't.
When I
There's
started...
Jason in the corner today booing when people hit the ground.
Well, when I started getting into MMA, professionally, I'd never really seen the UFC. I was training already, with my manager to become an MMA fighter, but I'd never really even seen it or Pride or anything, really, to be honest. I remember at Christmas 2003 or 2, my wife got me Ultimate Submissions, and that was one of the first times I'd seen the UFC, but I was training for it because my coach at the time told me there was money to be made and all this type of stuff. But yeah, no, it just reminded me when you said those DVDs back in the day.
They were great. It was a great part of the marketing because it was a YouTube generation. Everyone was just starting to get used to consuming like content very quickly.
I remember sitting there with all my friends. We were having a few beers over Christmas, and that. So this is what you're doing?
Yeah.
You're out of your goddamn mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I think I am.
Yeah. What about you, Mickey? What made you get into it?
I was a fan. I became a fan of the sport. I grew up I played all sports, football, baseball, basketball. Then I started doing I did a little boxing, and then I did jiu-jitsu, and I was like, yo, this is the ultimate sport. I started doing jiu-jitsu when I was 16, because I wanted to fight.
Really?
Yeah.
So that was it. You were like, fuck this.
Yeah, and once I started.
How old are you
I
now,
took it
Mickey?
fast. 26.
26, yeah.
Yeah.
You still look very youthful and beautiful, and
Thank
no
you.
scars. And,
Yeah. Look into your
Good for you.
future.
Yeah, exactly. Take a look at me, Jesus Christ. I used to look like you back in the day.
Yeah, I got
Good-looking guy.
36 stitches in my head the past
In your
year.
ass? What?
In the past
In
year.
my head?
Oh, 36.
Yeah, 36.
In your head.
I got 21 here.
Oh shit!
In practice.
Let me see.
Right here on my eyebrow.
Oh yeah, you can't, that's a good place to get a scar though.
Well, that was the right
No way.
Northcutt fight,
No,
right?
that was right before. That was 3 weeks before I fought CM Punk.
That's
That's
right.
a good
That's
place
why.
on your eyebrow because hair grows on your eyebrow and covers it up. It's the perfect
Yeah.
place to get a scar.
Yeah, well, so look, dude. Here's the
show
truth.
you his
Michael
picture.
Bisping, you don't even realize you walk out of a room and the fucking girl's like, oh my god, I want him to fuck me so bad. I'm telling you right now, I
Don't
ridiculous.
ever stop
My
doing
girlfriend,
that
I had
again.
to
You made me sick.
I had to stop my girlfriend
What do they?
from touching
Hey,
Mickey
hey, what do they
Gall's
say again?
podcast.
What do they say again, Lewis? What do they say?
Oh my god, he's so hot, he's so manly, dude. They love you're fucking look. You're a fighter. You like all the cauliflower here and the scar tissue. I'm telling you right now, chicks love that shit, dude. Bitches love.
Hence you talking about your cauliflower.
Yeah. I lean in with.
Yeah, that's a good
When I go
point.
to, I'm like, excuse me, miss, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
Yeah. To be honest, most of the scars on my face came from training and accidents. Like Jay Silver, great guy, trains with us. My God, he's got a habit of slicing me open by accident. This, you see the one here? There's a pretty good one on the middle of my forehead, right there. I think where was
There's
the
a
fight?
few.
There's a few, yeah. There's a lot up there. This one between the eyes, that was a stool in the face in the early '90s, yeah. But no, this one here, I was doing a
was in
Kimura.
practice.
I was doing a Kimura on it in my back.
What a time.
That was 3 weeks before I fought CM Punk.
That's a
In
good
practice, a
one.
headbutt. Accidental.
Yeah,
3 weeks
headbutts,
before.
elbows.
And he was freaking out because you thought you were going to lose the
I was
CM
like,
Punk fight.
Could you imagine if I bump into him and he cuts me open? All those assholes
Well, that's
would
what
have
I
been
had.
like,
in-
would have been
very,
like,
very
oh
similar
yeah,
in
you
the
beat
Bisping
him.
fight, the first
Can you
one.
imagine if you pulled out?
I would never.
Right,
The doctor was
okay.
like, yo, you can't fight for like 6 months. I was like,
Remember
yeah, right.
the,
I fought 2
the
times
first
in 4.
Rockhold fight? They took my stitches out.
I got a picture of that.
Yeah, day of the fight, they were taking stitches out of my eye.
Yeah. He's going to hide that from the
Motherfucker,
doctors.
no, he went for it straight away.
Well, I'm saying that from
No,
him.
the UFC doctor's the one that took it out at the
Okay.
weigh-ins. We did at the weigh-ins.
Yeah, the
It's-
weigh-ins.
yeah,
the
the
weigh-ins,
weigh-ins.
they took the
Yeah, the
stitches
day
out,
before.
Yeah. And Rockhold
And he knew it was up. He was like,
Yeah, of course
let
he
me
did. Yeah, he kept saying, "Oh, you got a nice cut there in the press and stuff." So I don't give a fuck.
Well, everybody
Yeah.
knows.
But then he headbutted me straight away, which opened it up big time. It was pouring blood out.
That was a fucking dirty move right there.
No, he headbutted
There
me.
you go.
And I'm like, a guy that's 6'4" against me, just shy of 6'2",
Why'd you do that much space above you then? This guy,
exactly. He's a really tall guy, but I'm much smaller. And then my wife always liked to say 6'1". I said, well, it said 6'2" at the police station when I got arrested. So, when I was 16, long time ago, former life. For a guy that tall, he's got to come down to head.
Yeah.
So he did it on purpose.
We all know. We all know.
All right. Let's just have a quick word from our sponsor, BetDSI.com. As you know, they sponsor the show each and every week, so thank you to BetDSI.com. As you've probably heard me say, been in business for over 20 years. BetDSI is a top-rated business on sports review sites. BetDSI is an easy-to-use, fast, mobile playing interface. Great customer service, 24/7, 365. You know the gist. Use the promo code ME25. They give you $25 just for registering with the website. And, of course, as always, the 200% bonus match. They triple your money. Put 100 down. That becomes $300. BetDSI.com. Obviously, next week we've got a big fight coming up, UFC 223. Ferguson, Khabib, top of the card, co-main event. Rose Namajunas taking on Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
That's the
Lewis,
fight to bet
what
on.
are the odds, brother? What are the odds?
Oh, I know that BetDSI is offering the best odds on Rose as an underdog, and I think Rose, I'm telling you right now, dude, Rose, I think she's at another level. I think she's going to win this fight. Joanna's no joke, but I think Rose has got more tools. I'm going to stay away from Khabib versus Tony, not because I think Khabib's going to win. I don't think he's too much of a favorite to make that $25 worth anything.
Sure,
if you're going to put real money down, fine, put real money down. But if you're going to take that $25 for free, that free found cash, throw it on Rose. You make a little cash.
Yeah, well, listen, next week, 223 is a great night of fights. It's going to be an awesome watch. And what's better is when you watch it and you've got money in there, you've got skin in the game, you actually give a damn who wins. So go to BetDSI.com, use the promo code ME25, stick on that $25 for free. My money, I'd probably put it on Rose, if I'm honest. I think Rose is going to win. But you never know. Joanna was a fantastic champion. But, BetDSI.com. Check it out.
All right, let's get back into it. So, Mickey, you got into the sport. You're younger. You're 16 years old, but you weren't like. You told me you got into like fights and stuff when you were a kid.
Yeah, but not like.
But you weren't like that kid. You're like a nice.
You seem like a very nice, level-headed guy.
So that it's like a bizarre quality to like even want to have. I almost feel like to want to be a fighter. Stereotypically, I would say there's probably something. I don't want to say wrong because that's a negative connotation, but something happened in your life that wants to give you the thrill. Same thing as a skydiver, right? Anybody wants to fucking jump out of planes, something happened there that makes them want to give them.
Probably, right?
What do you think?
Well,
there's
generally,
anything?
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, the life of a fighter is a very, very tough life, and that's like, for example, my son. People ask me all the time because he wrestles, so it seems like an obvious progression that he would fight, and I don't want him to, and he doesn't want to. He's a very smart kid. He's had a great upbringing, very, very balanced house. No violence, nothing like that. He hasn't seen anything like that, and he's got a brain on his shoulder. He's got a lot of opportunity coming his way, hopefully. I wouldn't want him to be a fighter because it's very uncertain. It's very tough. Obviously, there's injuries and this and that, but also, he could do it. You don't have to have had a terrible childhood or anything like that to be able to be a fighter. But I think there is a trend there.
More times than not, I'd say the kid had a little bit more of a troubled childhood as a fighter as opposed to.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. How was your childhood? I mean, mine's
right.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. My mum and dad love me, but certainly not strangers
same.
to get my fucking arse kicked on a regular basis. That's for sure. But I think certainly in boxing, I think you see that more. Than martial arts.
Boxing's had however many years it's been like this, it's been such a big sport for so long. I think that's just like a time thing. I think you'll see that more and more with MMA as it grows and it becomes a sport where there's millions of dollars. You're going to see little poor kids in the fucking hood, like growing up, going to MMA gyms. There's not many, but it's starting to happen. You'll see in like real hood areas like MMA gyms popping up.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's like straight up, for the most part, you only see jiu-jitsu gyms in affluent areas. You're not really seeing them in the hood.
Of course, because it's not cheap.
No, it's not cheap at all. Neither is boxing.
It's not cheap at all. Yeah, no, but a boxing gym's way cheaper to join.
And then also they see a kid who's got talent.
Generally, a boxing gym, well, where I come from anyway, you can just go in, you pay £2 or whatever it is, you go in the gym and work out. Most jiu-jitsu places these days, I don't know what they charge. It's like $100 a month. Sure.
More.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in New York City? It's like, I think, how much is it? Like at least $250, $300 a month. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. You know
It's
what I mean?
so expensive.
And if you're from a very average working class family, you can't afford that. And what if you've got multiple kids? Do you know what I mean? Where a boxing gym, yeah, of course you can go in there and work out.
Yeah.
A couple of pounds, a couple of dollars. There
We
you
hear
go.
about that, like kids will go into the boxing gym, they pay $5 a day to get in or whatever, and then some coach sees some kid who's got some talent, and
Of
is like, all
course.
right, well, let me take you under my.
Yeah.
And you don't really have the same type of thing in MMA. Somebody should create like some sort of program.
Well, see,
like
the
that.
problem with that is, I mean, maybe there is when there's head coaches, but there's so many different disciplines. Like I have Jason, who's my head coach as well. But I'll go to Jason. I have Brady. I mean, we have a very small team these days, don't we? But
Yeah, but you still got to go get your wrestling.
You got to get your wrestling. You got to get your jiu-jitsu. I have a
jiu-jitsu.
strength and conditioning coach. I have a boxing coach. I have a Muay Thai guy. You got all these different guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very hard and costly and time-consuming to train with them all. That's the hard part. Isn't it, Mickey? I'd say. Trying to
That's
fit
the
it all
grind,
in.
yeah.
And the
The
problem is
driving.
as well, every coach, obviously, and rightly so, they all think their aspect of it is the most important. The strength and conditioning coach is like, dude, you got to be strong. Fuck all this other shit. And when you win a fight, yeah, because you were strong. Oh, you win by not, boxing. I'm a striker anyway, so I always lean towards that. But then you got to have your jiu-jitsu, you got to have this. So every lesson you go to, or every session, pardon me, they're all pushing you to the max.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they want to train you hard, and I want to train hard. But then when you're having that from 5 different coaches, it's very easy to overtrain.
See, that's my goal. Is I want a gym where it's all in house. You have all the coaches in it. The problem is personalities now, isn't it? You got all these. Not every fighter is going to like those 3 to 4 personalities. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So if you guys, so the same guys that Mike likes to work with is not necessarily the same guys that Mickey would like to work with. You know what I mean? Even they can be the greatest coach in the world, but personalities play a part as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you want to hang out with that guy every fucking day.
No, it doesn't, and that is a big part of it. 'Cause
Yeah.
when
That's
you're
interesting.
when you're in a fight camp and you're going away to a city, like sometimes, like when I fought in Australia or whatever, you go early. Even in London, I'll go at least 10 days before. Do you know what I mean? Or 2 weeks before. If the guy's a dickhead, or maybe he's not a dickhead, maybe your just personalities don't blend. Might be a very, very nice guy, but you've got to click. You've got to hit it off. You've got to have that energy. It can't be awkward. A lot of times you're sharing hotel rooms with these guys. You're having breakfast, lunch, dinner with them all. You're hanging out, so your personalities have got to click. You know what
I've
I'm
literally
saying?
never heard anybody talk about that. That's really interesting because you think like, oh, well, you bring in the best training partners in the world. Like, yeah, you want to like the best training partners in the world.
Yeah.
But what if the best dude at Muay Thai is a cocksucker that you fucking
Yeah,
hate?
but then fuck
Well,
that
that's
guy.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you don't train with him because it doesn't work for you, and if anything, it'll be counterproductive.
Yeah.
And you got to trust them as well, because a lot of coaches, they talk a good game, but they've never stepped in there in their life, and they don't know what it feels like. And I used to work out with this coach in England a long time ago, and this advice he used to give. He's never fought a day in his life in any type of combat arena, whether it just be grappling, kickboxing, stand-up, boxing, wrestling. Never done
living room.
anything a day in his life.
Living in with his buddy.
So how are you gonna, listen, you don't have to have competed to know and have some influence and some guidance, but it sure as hell fucking helps. If
Yeah.
the guy's been in there and he's experienced it and he knows what he's talking about, so then you can trust him. Because he's been there. Like Jason, he's boxed professionally. He was undefeated. And he knows, he understands the mindset of a fighter as well. Not just in the fight, giving advice, but going through training camp, the emotions of the highs and the lows, the peaks and the troughs. You're feeling like shit. You're overtraining. You've not eaten well. You beat up. Maybe you had a tough sparring session. All these different things. Arguing with your wife. When someone's been through it and they can understand, then it makes it so much easier.
You can give better advice. You give real advice.
Right,
Right?
that's what I'm saying. You've got to trust them.
Yeah, so I mean, you just moved from Jersey to California now. It's sort of what type of adjustment have you had to make? Because did any of your training partners from out there come out here with you?
No.
So this is it. It's a new
So
life.
they can't
new
do
world.
that. They can't. That's called.
Young, some fucking
That's
young.
moving together, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You don't bring your training partners out there. When you get to a high level,
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're not. You're in the UFC. You're at a very high level. Like maybe if you're doing world class camps and you're flying guys in,
Right.
But
Well, I would say maybe a buddy that was in your gym also moved over here, but you came out here by yourself, which is a new thing. That's a big chance.
Have you got a girl? You don't have a girlfriend, Mickey? You're single.
I have a girl. Yeah.
Is she back in? Where you from? New Jersey?
Yeah, Jersey. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's a fool.
Why?
In California.
You can't
I'm a
say
trustworthy
that.
guy.
Is she out of her
I'm a-
mind? Look
Oh,
at this
Lewis,
guy.
you can't say that. The poor girl's going to be listening.
Doggy, let
You're
me tell you
saying that.
something.
Mickey's a good dude.
No, he would never
Yeah.
cheat.
Oh,
Just every
man.
other guy.
You're an asshole.
You know how hot the girls.
No.
You know how hot the girls in California are. If you see how hot these chicks are, I'm talking directly to Mickey's girlfriend right now. You got to give them a pass. These chicks out here are smoke shows. It ain't Jersey, sweetheart. It ain't fucking. It ain't Passaic County.
Hey,
So-
anyway,
Jeez.
yeah, you're a tool bag.
But what? Talk to me about that. You're finding new.
I talked to my coach. Like I have coaches back home, and like I talked to them. Like I was just I've been kind of like outgrowing my work at home. You know, like the training partners. I'd have partners shying away who like, you know, I want to work with people that aren't going to be like scared of me. That are going to come
get pushed.
That's exactly.
If you're not getting pushed in the gym,
yeah,
you're just developing bad habits, and the guys that you're working out with, they're the ones that are really gaining from that experience. It's like when you start doing jiu-jitsu, you're getting tapped out all the time. After a bit, you're getting better. You don't get tapped out as much. That's because you're getting pushed. You're learning from your mistakes. If you're going in there and just tapping everyone out, or then you got to move on. Which
exactly. Exactly.
So this is it, dude. You're in Cali now. Big deal.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. How do you like it so far? What do you think? What do you like about Cali versus the West Coast? Because that's the other thing, Mike. You love New York. And the
whereabouts are you?
I'm from New Jersey, but out here I'm in Eagle Rock in LA.
So where is that? Oh, it's in LA.
Yeah.
Obviously, I
never heard Eagle Rock.
No, me neither.
So
you know Eagle Rock, right?
It's a cool little like hipstery area, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking to move out here a couple of years ago.
Right.
Eagle Rock.
Oh,
I love it.
Cool. I'm jealous.
Yeah,
I'm jealous.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I moved in with Eve,
Southern California.
Eve Edwards has a house there, and he got divorced. So then I'm living there with him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, good for
So
you.
it's a little frat house down there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay. All right, I'll go swing by sometime.
I want to talk about real quick. It is next weekend. It's UFC 223, which is a big deal. Back on the East Coast, which
Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, it's in Brooklyn, which is gonna be dope. Khabib and Khabib and Tony Ferguson are going to be fighting, but they just did a press conference. I didn't watch this press conference.
I didn't see any of it.
I didn't see Harrington.
They did a press conference, or was it a conference call?
Conference call. Sorry, Harrington. I'm going to finally give you an opportunity to be on mic for a second here. Give me some quick highlights here, because we did a Twitter survey if Harrington was allowed to be on mic.
Okay.
Most people voted who's Harrington, but
that was an option, was it?
That was really good timing. I just caught this from.
That was good reflexes.
Like
on the glass water bottle, which is ridiculous, by the way.
So, what were some of these highlights, Harrington?
Well, really, it was mostly Tony just trying to get in on the shit talking thing, saying Khabib was eating tiramisu.
He says that all the time. He's let the tiramisu
what does that mean?
Yeah, I heard that
because he missed weight. Tiramisu. Is that all right, Tony? Maybe it was funny once. Let it go.
Right? Yeah. Khabib was really like hammering home, like, "Hey, I missed our last fight because of injury. Injury happens to everyone in this game. Like, you sound like an idiot when you keep bringing it up." And Tony just kept harping on him. "You're taking food out of my kid's mouth. I'm working out while I'm doing this conference call." Sounded like a psycho. But
Tony?
Yeah, Tony.
That's surprising. Insert sarcasm.
And Khabib just kept saying, like, "Yeah, I can't understand a word you're saying. You sound dumb. You sound stupid." He was really just
Did he have on the
him,
glasses?
like, Big Brother in him.
The phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So those are the highlights. Yeah, I mean,
Tony's a good dude, but he's very, very intense, man. He's an intense. He's
I feel like it's hard to market a fight against Khabib, or when there's a language barrier. Like,
I don't think there's that much of a language barrier, though. To be honest,
well,
he speaks good English.
Khabib speaks decent English,
but he's not like I think it's when it's his second language. He speaks good English, but when it's their second language, it's not the same type of like. You never see a guy who's like his second language is English and he's coming out and just fucking throwing heat.
No,
in a press conference, it just doesn't happen.
I don't know. He says some good stuff. I like Khabib. I like his personality.
I think his fight style is what speaks.
No, his fighting style is fantastic. It's going to be a very, very exciting fight. That's for sure. No, Khabib likes to talk a bit of shit. I think he could keep up with him. Maybe he was just trying. See, the thing is, on those conference calls, you don't know where you are, what you're doing. You know what I mean? Sorry, the listener doesn't know what the fighter is doing or what their environment is right now. I did my conference call with when I fought Kelvin Gastelum. Excuse me. I'd come out of. I was working at Fox. I was staying at the hotel around the corner, and I'd gone to the mall. What are the malls called here? Culver City, whatever. Anyway, it's a fucking mall. So I'm wandering around the mall trying to get reception on my phone because I know I've got the conference call. And I had like one bar, and then it was noisy. There was music playing in the restaurant. I was like, for fuck's sake! I'm wandering around trying to get a quiet place, and the speaker on my phone doesn't work too well. Do you know what I mean? And there was music playing, so I had it on mute most of the time. And then when I was talking, I take it off mute and I give my answer and then put it back on mute. do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you don't know what that guy's doing. So
you're not even listening to what the other guy's saying.
Yeah, you just got to do it. And unless you're getting into a good shit talking argument, like with Rockhold or whatever. Yeah. And when I did Rockhold, I was sat at home on good Wi-Fi, no noise.
Earbuds in.
You know, when there's a lot of distractions, so you don't know. Khabib might have had a lot of distractions, is what I'm trying to say.
Have
in
you
a very,
fought-
very bad way.
I mean, you fought internationally a bunch. How many guys have you fought that don't speak English at all? And I mean, I feel like that's a really challenging thing to try to drum up interest with a guy who, like, you know.
Well, Luke Rockhold doesn't speak the best English. That's simply because he's dumb as a bag of rocks. He probably speaks the worst English out of everyone I fought. I don't know. Anderson Silva,
Yeah, not great.
he's not great at English.
He ended up just being such a legend at that point that it didn't matter.
Yeah,
like anybody.
he can speak English though, so that's what I kept saying to him. I said, "Why are you pretending you don't?"
His
speak
voice
English,
stinks. He's got that little high-pitched Michael Jackson voice.
man?" Yeah, I get a bit nasally at times.
Yeah.
Whiny at times as well. So
Nah, it's with Anderson. It's surprising. It's just like it's very like squeaky.
it's very surprising.
Yeah.
It's very surprising when he dresses in dragon.
That's
twerks
also
as
true.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a little surprising. Tony Ferguson, Khabib, seeing as we're talking about that, I guess we should. Do we care to break down the fight?
We can talk about it a little bit.
I mean,
Yeah, we're not going to have Mickey. I know it's next week is the fight, but we're not going to have Mickey and Jason next week. So I'd love to get their opinions on this fight. It's a big fight.
Yeah, Mickey,
huge
what
fight.
do you think?
All right, I pick Khabib. I think I think Khabib will just put that wrestling to him. Like Tony's tricky, but I think Khabib gets a win. I think Khabib drags it out. I don't know. I don't see him finish. I see him beat him up same way he kind of did Barbosa. Just 2 more rounds.
Yeah.
God,
Jay?
you're so strong. You were so strong with Barbosa. It was crazy how he's
And against Michael Johnson as well.
God, he's a beast.
Yeah.
Tony is Kate. He's so awkward. And he's so tough, and he's so durable, and he's strong. And like, it's hard for me to bet against. And I know. I mean, it's hard for me to go against Tony on this fight. I mean, it's a tough one. I can't really pick. It's a pick 'em really if you ask me, because Tony's, again, he's an awkward guy. I don't know if he's gone to the welter. He gets hurt. He does get hurt in a handful of his fights.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to catch up to him sooner than later. But it's a tough fight. It's hard to say.
Yeah, that's a good point. He does take a lot of punishment in his fights generally. I mean, his last fight against Kevin Lee, I mean, he was mounted in the first round and kind of saved by the bell, really. At the end of the first round there, Kevin Lee had mounted him, landing some vicious ground and pound. If Kevin Lee can do that to him,
Yeah.
you see where I don't even need to finish the sentence. Kevin Lee can do that. I'm pretty sure Khabib can do that. Now, Tony, as you said, very unorthodox, big for the weight, very long, does hit hard, very unorthodox
Awkward,
style,
really awkward.
Yeah.
Like, if someone's awkward,
Funky. Just so
they don't know what they're going to do. So how the hell are you supposed to know? How are you supposed to read their
Right.
movements when they don't even know what they're doing? They're making it up as they go along.
Or
Almost.
they're unorthodox, or the rhythms. Where you had mentioned that about like GSP's rhythm was something that was like you were like, this is just really strange. Like the rhythm wasn't like something you were used to.
It was offbeat. It was weird. But I mean, Tony. I mean, he could catch him in a submission. I don't see that happening, to be honest. But I was talking to Anthony.
Elbows, maybe cutting him up with the elbows. maybe.
Anthony. What's his last name? Anyway, Anthony from Ruka.
Oh, Gonzalez.
Yeah, Anthony Gonzalez. He's been training him, and I was asking him. He's one of his coaches. I said,
Khabib or Tony?
one of Tony's coaches.
Tony's, okay.
I was asking him yesterday. I was in the gym, and I was like, "So what have you done for this camp? Have you brought anyone in particular?" He said, "Well, not really." He said, "We've trained for him 4 times." Four training camps to prepare for him. I said, "Oh shit, yeah." So I guess they both trained for each of the 4 times though. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one. I will do a prediction next week. I'm going to keep you all hanging on, waiting for that big prediction. Ooh, you can't wait. No, if I pick Tony to lose it, I'll definitely get some abusive messages. So yeah, for sure.
That's got to be weird. You can't especially when you do a show. You've had, we won't name names, but you've had people get mad at you in the past.
Oh, for sure, yeah,
for
absolutely.
you get a camera in front of your face, you have to make a pick. It's weird for me too because I'm just a fan, and now the show grows and we get fighters in studio. And it's I'm nervous sometimes. Shit, dude, did I ever say something fucked up or make a dumb joke about a guy?
So the thing is, obviously, if you're as a TV analyst, you got to make your picks. It's never anything personal. Well, sometimes it is. Sometimes you do it to say fuck you, but especially if you know the guy and you like the guy, but sometimes you might think this guy's going to get beat. But you can't say that because generally, when they're warming up in the locker room, it's on. It cuts to the pre-fight show in the TV, and you don't want to put that energy out there. Someone that say, I think they're going to lose, because if you see that it's bad energy, you don't need someone predicting on TV that you're going to lose.
Well, you got to see this person.
So sometimes,
next week,
exactly.
in the gym
Sometimes,
or whatever.
Yeah, tell a couple of white lies if it suits. But generally, that is my strong point. I am very honest and brutal. But yeah, I have been known to blend the truth once or twice if I know the guy. To do him a favour.
Have you ever got?
Yeah, he's going to win.
Have you ever gotten offended by somebody picking against you that you
Yeah,
knew?
big time.
Who?
Well, no. I didn't get offended. He wasn't a friend of mine or anything, but I remember Anthony Pettis was working the desk and he picked me to lose. I was like, oh, all right. Noted. Mental note.
All right, Anthony Pettis. I see you. I see you.
Yeah. I see you picking me to lose, you son of a bitch.
What about you, Mickey?
But I
Anybody-
can't say anything because I do it all the
It is
time.
what it is. Has anybody that you respected or looked up to ever picked against you in a fight?
Or like so yeah, you'll hear them be like, God, yeah, for sure. I've heard that's happened.
Ever been a little butthurt because of the media?
Yeah, a
whatever?
little bit. Just like, yeah, like fuck this guy. I want to. Yeah.
What do you think of Sage Northcote?
Um,
Did you giggle in the background there?
what do I think of him? So he seemed pretty pleasant, like a nice little like kind of like a nice like puppy dog. But
Yeah.
I've also heard that he's like that's kind of a fake thing.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard like he's been like
absolutely
like a
awesome,
dickhead
sir.
to
3 bags
people.
full, sir. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank Jesus. Thank the God, Lord Almighty. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I've heard
That's an act?
he's like yeah. I hear it's a little bit of an act. And I almost like I remember like when we were about to fight like all week he was just like, oh hi, like smile, like
You know, he
smiley.
seems like a great kid.
Yeah.
He seems like a great kid, and I wish him the best. I do. I'm just curious what his thoughts
yeah.
are. Obviously,
and I've actually
you
heard
guys fought.
otherwise. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And
All
I didn't think it was like I was like, oh, it's crazy. He's like the nicest kid ever. But
Yeah.
then I'd heard.
He seems like a really nice
Well,
guy.
he's doing
though.
a good job getting himself like noticed that way. That no matter what it is, if people are talking about you and there's a story, I just don't understand the nice guy approach to like let's get real. It's MMA. It's cage fighting. It's two men and women getting into a cage and beating the shit out of each other. And then you see people like Paige Van Zandt and Sage. Those are the two in particular.
It was Sage and Paige.
They're so, regimented with their answers. They're almost like politicians. Paige did an interview and she was talking about, I guess she's engaged now. And, like people
Which no one wants to hear about.
Yeah, no, because she's a hot little girl and everything. That's why, yeah. Look,
No, you know what? Paige is actually a
Take it
really,
easy.
really nice girl. She's
and a
lovely.
talented fighter, but I'm just saying,
Yeah,
let's
she
get
is,
real.
yeah.
She's beautiful. That's why she got Dancing with the Stars. That's why they put her on reality
Yep.
shows. That's why she's got a Reebok
Metro
sponsorship.
PCS, Reebok, you
Yeah,
name
of
it. More
course,
fucking
dude.
sponsors than me, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Sage? Because you beat Sage Northcote, and he's got all the, he
still has all
seems
the
to have the push
sponsorships.
of the
Yeah.
UFC, but you defeated him. You both came in from the looking for a fight.
Yeah.
Looking for a fight show,
It's all good. He could have his. He could eat. I'm gonna eat too.
Yeah,
It's
no,
all
absolutely,
good.
for
Yeah, I
sure,
don't-
man. You're 26.
Yeah.
You got a bright future ahead of you, and but I just wondered,
That doesn't
how
bother
does it
me.
make you feel?
That doesn't really bother
Yeah.
me. Nah.
I mean, to be honest, you can see why. He
I get
is.
it, yeah.
He is. He's
What
got
do
a
you mean?
great physique on him.
No, I think yes,
does
yes,
the flip.
No,
And,
dude, his physique's ridiculous.
but
Take it
He
easy,
fucking
man.
rolls up. What?
Take it easy, Mike.
the man's got abs for days.
Physique. No, let me get back to his
Listen, Lewis,
physique.
force him to suck his own dick. No, listen, let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. He's a very, very, well...
Attractive.
Did I say well endowed?
He looks amazing. You both got the same haircut as well. What's going on with the
Well, that's the
spine?
thing,
Yeah,
Mickey.
a
Here's the
little
thing.
buffy.
You figure it's almost like why would the UFC choose? What's the reasoning? By anointing Sage?
No,
it's a little
because
weird.
think about it. No, it's not.
He lost to Mickey. Mickey's just as good looking, just as marketable.
No, he is. I agree. That's why I asked him, because Mickey's very good looking. He's well spoken. No, he's
getting heavy,
young,
man.
good looking. No,
Mickey, take your shirt off.
no, a very marketable guy. That's why I asked. But Sage, you can see why. He's very marketable. He speaks well. He's not controversial. He's not out there swearing. He's not rolling out of nightclubs hammered. He's not doing
But
drugs.
Connor's the biggest of them all, and he's controversial. So the nice guy.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But some corporate companies want to get behind that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like Demetrius Johnson, like Sage Northcote. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
know what the fucking problem is. Dickheads, give me a shout. I'm over here. 13 years in the UFC.
Yeah. I just don't.
Waiting for my deals.
Yeah, it seems like it's almost arbitrary sometimes. How the UFC picks and chooses their guys, because Paige and Sage are just they're great fighters. Obviously, they got to the UFC. I'm a fucking fan, so I can't disparage what they do. But I'm just saying they're not. I don't think that either one of them are ever going to be a champion.
No, they're not. No, they're not. But there is a certain demographic that likes to watch people like that fight. And good for them. I think it's great. You know. How many fights you had now, Mickey?
5 pro.
5 pro.
Yeah. My So I had my pro debut, and that was on Dana White Looking for a Fight.
Oh,
Dana
shit,
was there.
it was? No
that was
way.
And then my second pro fight was in the UFC.
Wow.
And I beat this guy, Mike Jackson. I beat
Yeah,
him in
yeah,
like
no,
45
no,
seconds.
exactly.
And then I fought CM Punk.
No, he's fighting next.
Who? Punk?
Yeah.
Who? I don't.
No. Oh, you beat CM Punk, of course. No. But the guy you just mentioned, I'm not letting any cats out of any bags.
Wait, who did you just mention?
then
Two of your
probably.
former opponents possibly maybe squaring up against one
Okay, I've heard of
I don't
that.
know. I don't know.
I've heard of it. Yeah. I saw shit
Just
about
don't
that,
say it
but I
on
don't know
the
if that's
podcast.
true.
But two of your former opponents maybe square. We're not allowed. I don't know. Circles of trust.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw they did.
You've
they
broken
there
the
was a
circle
bunch
of
that
trust
shit on
many times.
Instagram
I'm never
a few
getting
weeks
back
ago.
in.
That's it.
So that's legit, you think?
No, I don't know. I don't
okay.
know.
Who leaked
It's
it?
a rumor.
Michael Bisping just now on the Believe You Me
I tell
podcast.
you what, though, because obviously that's a baptism of fire, Mickey. You know, first pro fight, looking for a fight, and then all the fights since in the UFC. I did guest fighter in London last week for the fights, and someone was asking me questions. They said, "What advice would you give to a young fighter?" And I said, to be honest, take your time. Take your time. Don't rush it. You know, a lot of people in MMA, they go out there and they're turning pro far too soon. You know, and they're getting their experience in the professional leagues. You know, as a boxer, look at amateur boxers. They'll go years and years and years. Then they get to the Olympics, they might win an Olympic gold medal. Then they'll turn pro. You know, in MMA, I think that's still, you know, an issue. That I think we'll see more people having a longer amateur career as the sport matures. How do you feel, Mickey? Do you know what I mean? You're in the UFC after one fight. You know what I mean?
I definitely, like, realistically, I should just
See,
be like getting there
last
now.
fight, that could have been an experience thing, the eating and this and that.
Yeah.
Did you have amateur fights too?
Yeah, I had a few amateur fights.
I did the same thing, by the way. There's no judgment. I'm not saying.
No,
that.
yeah, and I get it. Like I should my past fight should have just been on like the regional circuit.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean. I should have been right about now. I should be like
You got some big
like,
wins though.
No,
7
you
or
got
8
some huge
0
wins.
on on the regional circuit. I should
Yeah.
be like 8-0 on the regional circuit. You know what I mean? Making some noise, maybe. But you know, it is what it is.
Well, that doesn't matter because ultimately everyone wants to get to the UFC. So you're here. So
you got to get. I've seen a lot of great fighters stay in obscurity who don't
Dude.
make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's the problem.
Get your shot.
That's the problem. You're going to gyms all over the world and it's full of great guys.
Yeah.
And that's partly why I don't want my son to fight because it's so uncertain.
tough,
you
yeah.
be in gyms and you're like, wow, this guy's amazing. This guy could really do something. He could be a world champion.
No one
and
knows him.
they never get the shot,
making any
or
money,
they never
yeah.
get the break, or
Or they lose.
or they're
don't-
just a
they're
gym
better
fighter
in
and
the
they can't
gym.
handle the
Yeah.
nerves. That you know,
Yeah.
gym fighters, that's a real thing. But you do see a lot of great fighters that just, you know, I mean, I've worked my ass off, but you know, a little bit of luck at the same time goes a long way as well. You got to get your breaks. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, yeah. I mean, you got to be at the right place at the right time, and you know, what do they say? It's where success meets luck. What is that saying?
No idea.
Whatever.
Yeah,
It's a good
it's something.
saying.
It's a
Opportunities where success.
Preparation and
Something like
Yeah,
that.
Mickey
one of
knows
those
he's trying to
things.
play kill.
something.
Mickey has it fucking painted on the ceiling. and he opens the
Seriously.
eyes every day.
yeah. Oh god.
Oh shit. We're gonna get
we gonna do?
a
We're
couple
gonna do a
questions
couple
here in a minute.
questions?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
want to give a couple plugs really quick. There we go. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. That's the saying. Thank
Yeah.
you, Mickey.
And you know, the harder you work, the luckier you get.
And two birds.
No,
with
it's
one
true though.
stone.
It's like, you get really lucky. You
can't-
work your ass off. You get really lucky in fights. You know what I mean?
You can't lead a horse to water.
Yeah.
Teach him to drink.
No
Okay, so look, we have a couple questions here in a
such
second.
thing as a lucky punch. There isn't no. No such thing as a lucky punch. Rockhold.
So look, if you want to join the conversation, first, BYM at gasdigitalnetwork.com. BYM for Believe You Me. We take your questions, we answer them honestly, or as honestly as possible. If you watch this show, you can tell Michael Bisping's lying. Just watch it.
Oh,
You
yeah,
got it.
big
okay?
liar, big liar.
So, we answer them as honestly as possible. So make sure you keep on shooting those questions to BYM at gasdigitalnetwork.com. Also, motherfuckers, if you love the show, you're listening to the show on iTunes right now, you should know that you can watch the show live most weeks for free, gasdigitalnetwork.com, Mondays, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We got the live stream, and all of the video archives are on demand if you go to gasdigitalnetwork.com and use the promo code BYM. 14-day free trial. You get to check out this show and 16 other amazing podcasts here on the network. Okay.
Question one.
This is from Mike from Gloucester.
Gloucester.
That's not.
Gloucester.
I'm letting you guys know.
Well, I'm just letting you know.
What we did to your language, we made it better.
Gloucestershire, is that what you'd say? There's Gloucester. You're pronouncing Gloucester.
Yeah, no, I'd go to Gloucester.
Yeah, I know. I get
Got
it.
it.
I get
Gloucester.
it.
Glouster. That's how it should be spelled. I'm letting you guys know.
Well, you know.
There's no U in favorite.
You guys have bastardized the English language, but whatever. It's all good. It's a great place to live. You guys do a good burger. Question 1.
2 questions for you. Mike, has your dad ever considered being a voice double for Michael Caine? It's uncanny.
That's funny that he says that. No, I don't think so.
But he does love Michael Caine. That's the one guy.
Yeah.
I think you went inside at that point. That was the one guy who said if he...
No, I think he is a big fan of Michael Caine. Yeah. No, it was good having my dad on the other day. It's kind of weird, though, because, you know, he is your old man. So if he was here, I do get a little reserved. Do you know what I mean? You hold back a little bit because your dad's here. Do you know what I mean? So you can't totally be yourself. But it was good having him on the other day. He's a character. Taught a little bit, you know, about him being a sniper and whatnot. We'll get him on more often. We'll get him calling him on. That'll be fun. But yeah, no. Let's have a good question, Lewis.
Second question.
I mean, I can say yes or I can say no. No.
Well,
I'd like a question that I can elaborate with the answer. Harrington, please.
Also, this guy wants to know...
Jesus Christ, Harrington. You had one job, the questions.
Will you be at a Body Power Expo or any other expo in the UK this year?
No.
Wouldn't normally go.
Okay. I've been to the Body Power Expo before. If the Body Power Expo want me to go, I'm still waiting on my invite. So please, I am available. I would like to go. But no request.
Really enjoy the podcast.
Good question.
Lewis, the British accent gets better every week. Keep up the good work. Yeah, your question wasn't good, but Michael Bisping was not impressed with your question. He will not hold back.
Is there a question?
That was his question.
If you're going to be at
that's
a statement.
The Power Expo.
You just wanted to say that. He said you had a good English accent. You know, I'm working very, very hard on my American accent. It's not going too well. You know, a friend of ours, Mike Stout, my agent, he gets me a lot of auditions, you know. But, yeah, I need a dialect coach.
Mickey, can I hear your British accent?
Because what I try and do is every time I get an audition, then I work on that accent then for like a day or two. But what I've got to do is be proactive.
So you call yourself a doctor.
Yeah. So I've got to do that.
Let's hear Mickey's British accent. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm British.
Pretty good.
Yeah, but that's you Americans just think instead of you just don't pronounce the T and you think you've got it. British.
More sport T. Hello, Michael Bisping.
Oh, hello.
You want to go back to Gloucester and have me
Why am I putting on a fake English accent? Hello, mate. Yeah, how you doing? All right.
All right, this is a new one. Curtis from Milford, Massachusetts. Here we go. He actually worked in Milford, Massachusetts. We're a former opponent of yours.
How's Massachusetts?
Massachusetts.
I'm just trying to.
Boston's dope. Boston's cool.
Anyway,
big fan of the podcast. My first question is for Mike. Would you ever consider trying stand-up comedy? As a massive fan of MMA for almost 10 years now, I always thought you were one of the more hilarious personalities in the sport. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude, if Woodley can do it, so can you.
Well, anyone can do anything. Not everyone can do it successfully. I haven't seen Tyron Woodley, but we were going to go check him out one night, but we never made it. Oh, it was me and Mike. Oh, and you were there. It was that night, Ray. We were going to go check him out, but it was too late.
Yeah.
And the next day, you know, he said that he killed it. He said, you know, and if he did say so himself, he did say so himself.
Yeah.
He's out there trying to be a stand-up comedian.
Killed
I don't know. Maybe.
Have you seen him?
I haven't seen him now.
Me personally, no.
Is it
No.
YouTube?
I've got enough going on right now, you know, without trying to step into your world.
Here's the truth. This is the absolute truth, right?
I've got a lot of hilarious stories. I could quite easily step onto a stage and tell some funny stories.
You can't teach somebody to be funny, right? And I don't know Tyron personally. He might be hilarious to all of his friends. Maybe he is. I know Michael Bisping's a really funny dude. Like, legitimately makes me laugh. Like, I don't fuck around. I don't fake laugh on this show. Like, I'm literally laughing. So, yeah, you can't teach somebody that. So, if you wanted to, if you could,
exactly.
You could fucking will your way to get into the UFC. You could will your way to get into the dumb comedy stage.
For sure, exactly. I mean, right now, you know, I've got, you know, I'm trying to do the whole acting thing. If that fucking pans, then yeah, I'll be
open mics.
I'll be doing open mic nights. You know. So, what do you call a man with a rubber toe?
Oh God,
Roberto.
All right. All right. Last question. Here we go.
You like that one, Jay?
I don't know.
This is Andrew from Manchester.
What do you call?
Good.
I don't know if I should say this.
Uh-oh.
No, you can. What do you call a Middle Eastern man with a piece of ham on his head?
What?
Hamhead. What do you call a Middle Eastern man with two pieces of meat on his head?
Two meathead?
Mohammed. What do you call a Middle Eastern man with two pieces of meat on his head stood down a back street? Muhammad Ali. No, not good. I like that one.
That was too offensive for you.
What?
You're like, maybe I shouldn't say this one. That's you know the jokes that I.
No, it's not offensive, but we're fucking being filmed, so Anyway,
there's a Puerto Rican, Mexican, and a black guy in a car. Who's driving?
Hold on, Puerto Rican.
The cops.
Yeah, exactly. You've told me that one before.
I love the old ones. Old racist ones.
Yeah, we got a lot of Irish racist jokes in England.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're dumb. I'm joking. My mum's Irish, so we used to do the Irish joke. Did you hear about the Irish shoplifter found dead on the Tesco's? That's a super.
Oh, we do Polish. That's what we say about.
Yeah,
Polish.
the Polish joke, same thing. Like,
well, here's a good one. Why can't Helen Keller drive?
You've told me this one as well. Go on.
She's a woman. Take that, ladies. Take that, ladies.
Super offensive.
All right.
Hashtag me too. Let's go.
Here we go. Loving the podcast, especially when Mike turns up on tome. What does that mean?
On time.
On time.
Maybe it's a typo. You got the computer right in front of you, Lewis.
Just recently, both F1 and the Darts have removed promotional girls, and Elias Theodore has appeared as a ring boy. Seeing as both of you are such raging feminists, and with the climate as it currently is, do you think the UFC should follow suit and get rid of ring girls? And I'm going to add to this question, what do you guys think of Elias Theodore as a ring boy?
Yeah, exactly. So
that is so weird.
I think I like Elias. He's a good dude. You can see where this is going already. It's not going to be complimentary.
Preface.
I like Lewis, but no, Lewis is a good. Elias, pardon me. Great guy, really nice guy. Interesting point. He was the ring boy, which is a terrible expression. But he was the ring boy on Invicta, which is an all-women card. Yeah. Okay, I'd like to see what kind of fuss would be made if we had an all-men card. So, sorry, no women. So the women can do an all-men card.
That's right. All of MMA up until 2015.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean, though. So that's like a double standard right there.
Yeah.
And he kind of made a joke out of it, really. He said he was going to do it for equality. Listen, Elias, do yourself a favour, mate. How would you expect to get taken serious if you're prancing around in a fucking leotard?
Yeah.
Holding up a number 2. I mean, he's a good dude. He's got a sense of humour.
But then,
it was a whole bit of shtick. He's having a lot of fun with it. Oh, I'm sure he got paid. He had sponsors on his thing.
Social media sponsors. Yeah. I mean, everyone's talking about it.
It was great. It was a PR move, but it was a little bit silly. If you're going to try and get yourself taken serious as a fighter, I don't know if prancing around as a ring boy is the best thing.
But as you say that,
because the ring girls aren't stepping in the octagon and fighting.
But does this sort of make you say that maybe they're almost unnecessary? What do you think of the ring girls in general?
Let's
get Mickey and Jason's
away
opinions. With them. Let's get Mickey and Jason's opinions on Elias.
And then I want to talk about that earlier joke as well.
I agree. I just think it's a little silly. I hope he got a whole bunch of money for it.
Yeah.
I just think it's silly.
Yeah. What about you, Jason? One of your fighters says, "Listen, dude.
Hey, Jay. Next fight, I'm not competing. I'm walking around the outside with a fucking leotard on."
Yeah,
right?
That's
holding up a number 2. What do you think?
What
do you say?
Hopefully he got laid at least. Yeah,
probably.
He probably had a good time.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Fuck, come on. I don't mind the ring card girls. I know that.
Yeah,
I don't mind them at all.
They've only got one job, and Elias is taking that. It doesn't really go with the whole spirit of this whole movement, does it? It's like equality. It's like, no, fuck you. We're having that job now.
What do you think? Do you think they should get rid of the ring girls?
But the thing is,
I don't. I think it's tradition.
The fans are majority of fans usually are guys, right? I mean, the audience. That's why they have the ring card girls, obviously, right? So, I mean, even at the Invictus show, the majority of the crowd is going to be.
The
guys.
whole concept of a ring girl is very outdated. It really is.
Of course,
and you can definitely make an argument for it being, in bad taste. But I think it's part of the tradition with combat sports. You know,
I agree. And also, to be honest with you, when you're talking about a feminist movement, are you guys suggesting we get rid of these jobs for these women? That what the fuck is Ariane Celeste going to do? I'm sure. Or who's the artist? Who's the other girl who draws pictures?
Brittany Palmer.
Yeah, I'm sure Brittany Palmer would be selling a lot of paintings if she wasn't a ring card girl.
Yeah, no, it's great opportunities for these girls. I mean, of
course.
Hey, I tell you what, they fly first class all the time.
Where do they get paid?
Hey, the fighters don't, but the ring girls get flown first class.
I'm sure they do.
No, they do.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's 100.
We got mad Mickey.
You get flown first class, Mickey?
Never been first class.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The ring girls get first class.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's bullshit.
After being in the UFC 13 years, I fought tooth and nail to get that in my contract, and it wasn't easy. I remember back in the day, I was renegotiating my first contract. I was flying from England to America all the time. UFC have been great to me, by the way. I'm not bitching about them. They've got a business to run. And I said, listen, I'd prefer X amount on the money, some more tickets, first business class travel, and this and that. And they said, listen, you can have one of those things. You know, so I chose the business class travel. But yeah, no, the ring girls, they fly first class.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they're going to shows every week, right?
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. When it's nearly every weekend.
And they gotta look good. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If they're flying,
What about you? Got to fight good.
Beauty rest.
dog, you don't gotta look good in that fight. He's gonna go fight good.
You're
All right?
not get your ass kicked. You're definitely not going to look good at the
Yeah, but
end
she's
of
got
it.
bags under her eyes. She didn't get rest. If you imagine a fucking tired-looking ring girl, but get her the fuck out of there.
yeah.
Why are they talking about getting rid of them? Like, because of objectifying?
Yeah, because we're
Yeah,
objectifying
exactly.
women.
Wait,
Objectifying
who's
women.
talking about that? They're really talking about
No,
it?
a lot
Not
of...
a single fan. Nobody gives a fuck.
No.
The ring girls don't want to
We got
leave. The fighters don't
cheerleaders
want to
in
leave.
football and basketball. It's
Yeah.
all the same shit. Give them something to do.
So that's
Well,
like...
it's a feminist movement.
Yeah, but that's like the equivalent to... what is it? You know, like cheerleaders and stuff at a football game. That's the same thing. Because is that objectifying women? Because they're coming out in scantily clad clothing, dancing around, being provocative.
Yeah, but
would
I don't
guess.
give a fuck about objectifying anybody because
No,
we
well, I
objectify
don't. They
people
don't.
of the
and
opposite sex.
It's part of the thing, and it's
If-
part of the show, and people enjoy it, and they don't care. They're happy to do it.
If
But
I'm
you could argue that.
if I'm walking down the street and a woman says, "Oh, I want to fuck that guy," she's objectifying me. What do you want me to say? I don't look at that as being a bad thing in the world. Like, who gives a shit? We're objectified. We try to look good.
Well,
Everyone
everyone's
tries to look their
yeah, well,
best.
exactly. It's the PC police just trying to get offended at everything, or trying to imagine what could be offensive and then
Yeah.
removing it. You know, in this modern day, that tends to be the way, unfortunately. And it's guys, that's one reasons why me and you don't fit in, and Jason. Do you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
Say less.
Oh
Sometimes.
yeah,
Less is
Mike
definitely
Harrington
more.
just gave me a little bit of info. Apparently, Elias is working to be a permanent ring boy. for
What?
Invicta.
What?
He's working on a multi-fight deal.
No, Elias, I like you, buddy. You're a good dude. Do not do it.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Abort.
Abort.
We have the same manager. Audie, what are you doing, bro? Come on. Abort mission. Straight away, please. We can't do
Oh
it.
shit! All right, well with that, dude, this has been a great show. Mickey Gall, dude, we love you, man.
Yeah,
what's,
Mickey.
what's the
Hey,
Twitter
listen,
handle?
Man, listen, you're here. You're in LA. You got my number, right? You got my number?
I don't think I do.
Don't be a
I'll grab it.
stranger. You know, anything you need.
Thank you.
Anything, I mean that. You know what I
Appreciate
mean?
it.
Yeah,
Thank
and you know, obviously, friends of the podcast and friends of ours, and wish
Yeah.
you all the best with everything, man.
Thanks,
Don't
bro.
be a stranger. Give
Yeah,
me a
for
fucking
sure.
call.
Thanks.
Mickey Gall on Twitter.
Yeah.
MickeyGall on Twitter.
Headlining
Parillo,
International Fight Week.
you're not on Twitter. You were.
Somebody did a Twitter. I've
And
never,
it's not you.
I've never been on in my life. I've never been on Twitter in my life.
Yes.
I know I got
Parillo
to
Boxing Instagram.
I got to step up to the times. I think.
There you
Parillo
go.
Boxing. At Parillo Boxing.
At Parillo Boxing on
At
Instagram.
Mickey Gall on Instagram.
Yeah.
There
Fuck
you
yeah.
go. There you go.
At Bisping, at Lucia Gomez. Harrington,
I
what's
don't give a
yours?
fuck
The chin?
if you plug my shit or not.
At
I
the
don't
chin?
care.
At the chin _
Please don't plug my social media again.
Michael Bisping.
Don't ever do
the
that.
cow.
That's like, I don't need you to plug my social media on my podcast, okay? If they're coming to my podcast, they've got a pretty good idea that they've seen it on my social media, and you just make me sound like please give me a follow. I don't give a fuck. Unfollow me, please.
Oh,
Everyone listen
I'll
to
say this.
Unfollow me. I don't care.
Go to our iTunes right now and leave us a 5-star ranking, positive
Do
review.
that.
They need to do that.
You do need to leave a 5-star ranking.
Positive
Please.
review. That helps the show.
Positive review. It does help the show.
Following
We
business
greatly
does not help
appreciate it.
anybody.
Guys, Parillo, Mickey Gall, Luis J. Gomez, Harrington, and Ray.
Thanks for having us, fellas.
See you next week.
Appreciate it.
Peace.
Cheers.
Hey, Jay, next fight, I'm not competing. I'm walking around the outside with the fucking leotard on,
Yeah,
Right.
no, that's.
holding up a number 2. What do you think?
I hope
What do
he
you
got
say?
laid. Hopefully, he got laid at least. Yeah,
Probably.
you probably had a good time.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Fuck. Come on. You know, I don't mind the ring card girls. I know that.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't mind
nice
them
to
at
look
all.
They've only got one job, and
know,
Elias
mate.
is taking that. It doesn't really go with the whole spirit of this whole movement,
That
does
is
it?
also
It's like
true, yeah.
equality. It's like, no, fuck you, we're having that job now.
What do you
Thank
think?
you.
Do you think they should get rid of the ring girls?
But you know what
No,
the thing is
I don't. I think it's tradition.
the fans are majority of fans usually are guys, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the audience. That's why they have the ring card girls, obviously, right? So, I mean, even at the Invictus show, so I mean,
Yeah.
the majority of the crowd is going to be
the
guys.
whole concept of a ring girl is very outdated. It really is. Of
course.
and you can definitely make an argument for it being, you know, in bad taste. But I think it's part of the tradition with combat sports. You know,
I agree. And also, to be honest with you, when you're talking about a feminist movement, are you guys suggesting we get rid of these jobs for these women? That, like, what the fuck is Ariane Celeste going to do? You know, I'm sure, or who's the artist? Who's the other girl who, like, draws pictures?
Brittany Palmer.
Yeah, I'm sure Brittany Palmer would be selling a lot of paintings if she wasn't a ring card girl.
Yeah, no, it's great opportunities for these girls. You know, I mean,
Of course.
Hey, I tell you what, they
Sell
fly
calendars.
first class all the time.
I wonder what they get
fly,
paid.
Hey, the fighters don't, but the ring girls get flown first class.
I'm sure they do.
No, they do.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's 100.
We got mad Mickey.
You get flown first class, Mickey?
Never been first class.
Yeah, exactly. The ring girls get first class.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's bullshit.
After being in the UFC 13 years, I fought tooth and nail to get that in my contract, and it wasn't easy. I remember back in the day, I was renegotiating my first contract. I was flying from England to America all the time. UFC have been great to me, by the way. I'm not bitching about them. They've got a business to run. And I said, listen, I'd prefer X amount on the money, some more tickets, first business class travel, and this and that. And they said, listen, you can have one of those things. You know, so I chose the business class travel. But yeah, no, the ring girls, they fly first class.
Yeah.
But the
Well, I guess
fighters
they're
don't.
going to shows every week.
Yeah.
Right? You
That's
know?
a fair point. That's a fair point. When it's nearly
all
every
month.
weekend.
And they gotta look good. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If they're flying,
What about
and
you? Got to fight good.
Beauty rest.
dog, you don't gotta look good in that fight. You just gotta go fight good.
You're
all right?
not get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
You're definitely not going to look good at
Yeah,
the
but
end
she's
of
got
it.
bags under her eyes. She didn't get rest. If you imagine a fucking tired-looking ring girl, but get her the fuck out of there.
yeah.
Why are they talking about getting rid of them? Like, because of objectifying?
Yeah, because we're
Yeah,
objectifying
exactly.
women.
Wait,
Fine
who's
women.
talking about that? They're really talking about
No,
it?
a lot
Not
of...
a
lot of-
single fan. Nobody gives a fuck. No,
No.
the ring girls don't want to
We got
leave. The fighters don't
cheerleaders
want to
in
leave.
football and basketball.
Yeah.
It's all the same shit. Give
Yeah.
them something to do.
So that's
Well,
like...
it's a feminist movement.
Yeah, but that's like the equivalent to what is it? You know, like cheerleaders and stuff at a football game. That's the same thing. Because is that objectifying women? Because they're coming out in scantily clad clothing, dancing around, being provocative.
Yeah, but
would
I don't
guess.
give a fuck about objectifying anybody because
No,
we
well, I
objectify
don't. They
people
don't.
of the
and
opposite sex.
It's part of the thing, and it's
If-
part of the show, and people enjoy it, and they don't care. They're happy to do it.
If
But
I'm
you could argue that.
if I'm walking down the street and a woman says, "Oh, I want to fuck that guy," she's objectifying me. What do you want me to say? I don't look at that as being a bad thing in the world. Like, who gives a shit? We're objectified. We try to look good. Everyone
everyone's
tries to look their
yeah, but
best.
exactly. It's the PC police just trying to get offended at everything, or trying to imagine what could be offensive and
Yeah.
then removing it. You know, in this modern day, that tends to be the way, unfortunately. And it's, guys, that's one reasons why me and you don't fit in. And Jason, do you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
say less.
Oh
Sometimes.
yeah,
Less is
Mike
definitely
Harrington
more.
just gave me a little bit of info. Apparently, Elias is working to be a permanent ring boy. For
What?
Invicta.
What?
He's working on a multi-fight deal.
No, Elias, I like you, buddy. You're a good dude. Do not do it.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Abort.
Abort.
We have the same manager. Audit. What are you doing, bro? Come on. Abort mission. Straight away, please. You can't do
Oh
it.
shit! All right, well with that, dude, this has been a great show. Mickey Gall, dude, we love you, man.
Yeah,
What's
Mickey.
the
Hey,
Twitter
listen,
handle?
man, listen, you're here. You're in LA. You got my number, right? You got my number?
I don't think I do.
Don't be a
I'll grab it.
stranger. You know, anything you need.
Thank you.
Anything, I mean that. You know what I
Appreciate it.
mean?
Thank
Yeah, and you know, obviously, friends of the podcast and friends of ours, and
Yeah.
wish you all the best with everything, man.
Thanks,
Don't
bro.
be a stranger. Give
Yeah,
me a
for
fucking
sure.
call.
Thanks.
Mickey Gall on Twitter.
Yeah.
MickeyGall on Twitter.
Headlining
Parillo,
International Fight Week.
you're not on Twitter. You were.
I somebody did a Twitter. I've
And
never,
it's not you.
I've never been on in my life. I've never been on Twitter in my life.
Yes.
I know I got to
Parillo
step.
Boxing Instagram.
I got to step up to the times. I think.
There you
Parillo
go.
Boxing. At Parillo Boxing.
At Parillo Boxing on Instagram.
At Mickey Gall on Instagram.
Yeah.
There
Fuck
you
yeah.
go. There you go.
At Bisping, at Lucia Gomez. Harrington,
I
what's
don't give a
yours?
fuck
The chin.
if you plug my shit or not.
At
I
the
don't
chin?
care.
At the chin _.
Please don't plug my social media again.
Michael Bisping.
Don't ever do
the
that.
cow.
That's like, I don't need you to plug my social media on my podcast, okay? If they're coming to my podcast, they've got a pretty good idea that they've seen it on my social media, and you just make it sound like please give me a follow. I don't give a fuck. Unfollow me, please. Everyone listen
I'll
to
say this.
Unfollow me. I don't care.
Go to our iTunes right now and leave us a 5-star ranking and positive
Do
review.
that.
They need to do that.
You do need to leave a 5-star ranking.
And positive
Please.
review. That helps the show.
Positive review. It does help the show.
Following
We
Bisping
really
does not help
appreciate
anybody.
it. Guys, Parillo, Mickey Gall, Luis J. Gomez, Harrington, and Ray.
Thanks for having us, fellas.
See you next week.
Appreciate it.
Peace.
Cheers.
And positive
Please.
review. That helps the show.
Positive review. It does help the show.
Following
We
Bisping
really
does not help
appreciate
anybody.
it. Guys, Parillo, Mickey Gall, Luis J. Gomez, Harrington, and Ray.
Thanks for having us, fellas.
See you next week.
Appreciate it.
Peace.
Cheers.